Hello, 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 guys. What's going on? Welcome to the stream. How are we doing today, guys? Good to see ya. It is good to see ya. Man, I am running on fumes, chat. Running on fumes. Last few nights, man, I've probably got like 6 hours in total. It's not a good time, but I'm ready to stream though. I am ready. I think I'm all bunged up as well. I think Rose is giving a lurgy. Loads of people have been coming into her office ill. She's passed it on to me now, and now I think I think I got the start of the man flu, chat. I think the man flu is coming for me. But how is everyone today? Welcome to the stream, guys, as well. If you haven't already, drop a like on the stream. It's much appreciated. It helps out a lot as well. If you haven't already, check out the video that I uploaded this morning. Show it some love. Like, comment, always appreciated. Helps it in the algo. And yeah, man, shout out to the people watching the last couple of videos, because obviously my views are all weird, like they're up and down, depends on what I do. But the last 3 videos, shout out to you guys. I appreciate you for showing the love on the videos. Welcome to the stream, guys. It's almost the weekend, and I'm telling you, I'm ready for it. I am ready for it. I haven't been to the gym all week because I told you about it, I was having issues with my neck. I think I've just been training super hard, really, and my body's just like, I need a deload week. So I'm having a super deload week when I'm literally not training. But I'm telling you, man, you know, if I don't go to the gym, I just get anxious. I feel like, I look in the mirror every time and I'm like, I'm getting skinnier. I ain't been to the gym for 15 hours, so I need to get back to it, man. So I think I'm probably just going to leave it all this week and get back Monday and proper get back into it. So it'll help me recover a little bit as well. Guys, we've got some sad news. It looks like the king of Kabbalah is no more. The kingdom of Kabbalah is finished, guys. He's finished. The king is dead. Long live the king, as they say. Well, I guess not long live the king, because there's not a king to replace him, because it doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, we're going to be streaming Limbo City tonight. I was going to stream some last night, but honestly, I didn't get back till it was after 7 o'clock. And by the time I did my tea, it was gone 8 o'clock, so it was just too late, man. It would have been like get live. Probably, I don't know what tutorials are like in the game. I'd have probably got through that, and then the stream would have ended. You know what I mean? So I was just like, you know what? We'll do it tomorrow. So tonight is Limbo City. As long as nothing goes wrong, touch wood. But yeah, it's a plan. Limbo City tonight. Check it out. See what it's saying. And then, hopefully, if you can, try and squeeze, like, an hour of Mongol Star Driving as well. Just depending on how we, just depending on how we get into it. Guys, welcome to the stream. Let me see what chat's saying here. Where are you? There we go. Frankie, what's going on? Yeah, welcome to the stream. Just Casual Gamer, welcome to the stream. Leo, Arise. Ducklord, welcome. Ends, BS Commissions, welcome to the stream. What's that going to come out to say now? Arknights is the worst monetization. Why? Because we want all the damn ambient synthesis skins, but HG won't give them to us. Hello as well, hello. The Fasu, welcome to the stream. Ryuji, welcome to the stream. Ringo, hello. Linharth, welcome to the stream. How is everybody doing? And just bring the gym to your room so you can work out while streaming. I wish. Man, I'd love to have my own home gym. I'd love it. I would. I must admit, I do like my gym that I go to. Like, I've got a few people that I know now. It's comfortable. I like it. I love the gym. Like, not even just, like, I'm one of those people that's like, it's not even just about getting gains. Like, I genuinely, absolutely love the gym, right? It just doesn't matter what's happening in life, the struggles of life, you might be feeling a bit whatever. When I'm in the gym, it just washes away. It's just the place for me. It's my church, man. It is my church. I come out the gym feeling so much better. I love training. I actually enjoy, you know what I mean? It's not just a means to an end. I enjoy the means. So I say, having this week off, it's anxiety inducing. I'm like, I should be there, man. I should be there. But it'll be good. I haven't had a deload week in ages. Really, with a deload week, you should probably be doing like 25% to 70% of what you normally do. Or I've just thought, you know what? Considering I think I've pulled my neck. I think that's what it is. But it's just giving me jib. But you know what? Let's just take the week. We'll go full deload. Neo, what's going on, dude? Welcome to the stream. Knight, welcome. I remember the line, I am Limbus, this is my company. Yeah, Discord last night was trying to get me to buy the other games as well. which I might, but like I don't know if I'll get round to playing them because there's so many. Chat, there are so many games coming. It's ridiculous. We've got DNA this month. We've got Chaos Zero Nightmare this month. We've got Battlefield this month, which I'm going to be playing because I really like Battlefield 6, right? We've got those. I want to get back into Arena Breakout Infinite. We've got Arknights. We've got Enfield coming up. We've got NTE, Ananta, not to mention about 50 other gacha games and all normal games as well. Like, it's a bit crazy, man, to like, you know, there's so many so many games I want to start, but I'm like, oh, bro, I did try out that Goddess Order, whatever the fuck it's called, last night. I haven't played any of the gameplay. I didn't even clock. It was like after 12 when I started playing. I was like, I'm going to bed. But the story started off, oh, we got Amnesia. So it's definitely a gacha game. But I'm probably going to give that a whirl over the weekend, actually. It's that like 2D side-scrolling action RPG. I want to give it a try. You guys have dubsteps to the gym too. Church steps. It depends. That's what annoys me. I always take my my headphones or my earbuds to the gym with me because like it's like with the gym you can go in and there can be tunes on, like proper bangers, like yes, this is it. Like other times it's just like trash music, right? Like the amount of times sometimes, you know, if like my headphones get dead if I forgot to charge them, you'll be training away to some like fucking proper gym tunes, and then all of a sudden it kicks in, you can hear like Ed Sheeran in the background. It's like, bro, I'm at the gym. I don't listen to fucking Ed Sheeran, you know? Just takes you out the moment, man. Just depends, really. If Ace is in, then it's alright, because he'll usually connect his phone to the gym. Like Ace, he's one of the personal trainers, and he puts some good music on. Yeah. Oh, what happened to that all-female anime character Goonie game? Which one was that, Neo? Which one was that? Oh yeah, one thing, Bix, Limbus community is known for their insane backseating. Oh, are they? I've dealt with it. I've dealt with that sort of stuff in the past. It's all right. To be fair, I'm not gonna lie. I don't mind a little bit of help off the get-go because I want to be able to get into things quickly. But we'll see. I'm hoping I enjoy the game. Like somebody commented on my video, on one of my posts, and they were like, hopefully you don't get sucked off into the game too much. You stop playing Arknights. I'm like, that ain't gonna happen, right? It's just not gonna happen. Right? I'm not saying I won't enjoy it, but like, I just know at the moment, honestly, I think, especially in terms of enjoying it for streams, or just enjoying the game anyway, I think there's only Arknights that can make me not want to play Arknights, and what I mean by that is just like getting burnt out on the game. There's no other games that make me want to play them more than Arknights at the minute. And the games that I am enjoying are totally different, so they don't offer anything. And I know Limbus is as well, but they don't offer anything in terms of the scratching the same itch. Like I've been enjoying Destiny, and I'm enjoying Reverse 1999 at the moment. They offer something totally different. I can't wait for Battlefield, honestly. I'm really looking forward to Battlefield, guys. I don't know whether to stream it. What I might do is I have a second channel, if any of you guys are wondering. You're probably not. But still, I don't really upload on there, right? I've probably uploaded like 6 or 7 videos on there, and I've streamed on there a handful of times. But I'm thinking about actually start getting content out there on a semi-regular basis. And maybe have it for just a myriad of games, really. Like there'll be some gacha stuff, some non-gacha stuff, maybe even some non-gaming stuff. But I've been thinking about maybe streaming Battlefield over there, just so for the people who might not really want to watch it, it just doesn't fill up your notifications with stuff you're not interested about. I used to always fight against that with my channel. I'd be like, oh, I'll just do whatever. But it's not even about the algorithm and views. I just think that as a channel, sometime, and you get it as a viewer, don't you? You'll watch somebody for something, but when you get loads of notifications about other stuff you're just not interested in. So I'm like, you know, for the sake of the viewer, I think I might just start uploading more content over there, because there's been some videos recently that I've been like, oh, I wouldn't mind reacting to that. And I'm not saying we couldn't do it on the streams like now, but I'll upload it to that channel, because I don't know if it's something that anybody cares about, really. You know what I mean? So yeah, I might start getting some more content up on the second channel if anybody's interested. It's more Pixel Tree if you want to check it out. Oh, that game, Neo. Yeah, I know which one you're on about. What happened to that, actually? I don't know what happened to that. I don't think it's doing very well, though. I can just say that. Biggest tip I'll give you is just read everything and try to understand. Yeah, well, the reading I'm okay with. the understanding, comprehension. You know what? I know streamers say it a lot of the time, yeah. It is a thing when it comes to streaming. Like, absorption and comprehension, difficulty just goes up tenfold when you're streaming. Maybe not for everybody, but for me, like, because I'm so interested in trying to engage with you guys, enjoy the stream, and hopefully entertain people, hopefully. It's so hard sometimes to absorb information. You know, even like little simple things. A game will say, you need to put A in B, right? And I'll read it, and then I'll read it again, and then it'll come to putting A in B, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing with A, right? You know, it's a thing, man. It's a thing. I do struggle with it, but like, obviously, if I'm off stream, just get it first time kind of thing, so, yeah. We're not backseating, you're going to read English. That with some CCs, only really care for OG Arknights and Enfield, so they post stuff for all of the games. I usually just put, exactly, right, yeah, exactly. I think that's the thing, isn't it? You know, there's plenty of content creators out there that I watch, but I tend to watch them do particular content, and it's not because I'm not interested in the other content, it's just that maybe their take on the other content's what I like to hear, and I'll listen to somebody else for the other content. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's just how it is, right? It is what it is at the end of the day, right? And you've got to work around people's habits and the algorithm, and you know. So, and I don't mind. It's nice to grow another channel as well. I do want to try and grow that channel actually. I've only got like 40 subs on it. If that, I don't know how many. I ain't checked it for ages. But I want to try and see if we can get that to 1,000 subs. Maybe that'd be the goal for next year. 2026 is to get that second channel to 1,000 subscribers. I think we'll do that. I think we'll do that. You're gonna be fine reading English. You got a lot of practice in Arknights the book. Apparently, some Hypergryph have visited Kojima Cobium. Really? Ooh, dude, just imagine, man, a collaboration with Kojima for Enfield. Oh, that would be pretty fucking fire. What would the collab be, though? Like, would it be Death Stranding? Bro, I'd love... Oh, man. As somebody who's a big fan of, like, Metal Gear, I'd love something like that in there. I'd love a bit of, like, Solid Snake action, you know? Posted something on his Twitter, did he? Then there's me living in my ice cave alone because my buddy ditched Wooer. I have been contemplating... Man, I've been seeing a lot of people are not happy with Wuthering Waves at the minute. I've been seeing quite a few people actually saying they're skipping 2.7, which I was kind of shocked by. Even Saint Pontas has been actually quite negative, and fair play to him, has been calling the community out on it as well, which, hey, you all know me, right? I've got no personal issues with Saint anyway, but I'll call it how it is. If there's somebody I disagree with, I am never scared to say, hey, they're right about that. And I say that, most of the time, it's not like I massively disagree with Saint anyway. It's just the way he goes about it, a lot of stuff, really, for me. But, yeah, man, you know, seems to be a lot of people not happy with the lack of combat events, right? Which I can understand, because it's been like 2 patches now without any specific combat events, which is a little bit mad, isn't it? For a game that is like, that's what Wuthering Waves does really well, right? Combat, it's kind of an odd one, really. Don't get me wrong, I was a person who was all like, I'd like other mini games, all for that. But I think when you're playing a game like these, especially when they're making, you know, if the game's in the top 40 in the charts, right, and they're making 10 million plus, 5 million plus a month, they can do multiple events each month and still continue on with story, you know, especially if there's lulls between story patches. I don't buy this thing of where people are like, well, they're concentrating on story. It's like, fuck off, you know? It's like, fuck off. Like, they can do both, man, and they should be doing both. They're having all this money off people. They should be doing both, right? I'm okay with this patch is a bit quieter on story because we're emphasizing this, or we're emphasizing this a little bit, but like, it's quite a long period of time for a game that's ultra good in a particular area, and it's shining star, and they're kind of ignoring it. So yeah. Fucking oil shells ruining Woo. Hey, what's going on, Experimental? Welcome to the stream. Imagine a game based on combat and having no combat, right? Many Limbus players hate Arknights for reasons that are too long to get into. Really? Is that true? Interesting. I didn't know about the Limbusy AK beef. You can have minigame, but you can... Exactly. This is true, right? That's the whole point, right? It's a minigame. It's supposed to be a little throwaway thing that's... It's supposed to break up potential monotony, right? Monotony of oh, okay, I've spent 4 hours doing this. and I've got another 20 hours doing this. Hey, let's just go do this little side thing that's cathartic for a little while, right? But then if you remove the other thing, it's like, it's not cathartic anymore. It's just boring, isn't it? So, yeah. Especially how dry we were is outside combat. How have the events been recent? Again, I can't comment because I really haven't been following the event roadmap. Like, I was shocked when I heard Saint and a couple of other people say it's been like nearly 100 days since the last combat event. I was like, fuck off. Really? I was shocked by that. I was like, you know? Like, don't get me wrong, you guys heard from me since, what, like 1.4? That I had issues with the way events were managed in Wuthering Waves. It was one of my big things that I had a problem with for a long time, and people said I was mental. I'm glad to see that people... Now, obviously, maybe I was a little bit more cynical from the get-go because I wasn't getting the things I wanted, but, like, I think it's been a long-running problem for Wuthering Waves in general, really, is lack of quality events just in general, really. Even the combat events, I thought a lot of the combat events, don't get me wrong, there's been some good ones, right? There has been some standout ones, but I think overall, quite a lot of them have kind of been a little bit lackluster, personally. And I think a lot of people will be okay with a patch or two without something, and maybe just a rerun of something, right? If they were working on something big, you know? Like an event that came out and it's like, holy shit, this is different. Or Depths of Elusive Realm comes back bigger and better. You know, but it doesn't seem to be... Is Depth still not in the game as well, out of curiosity? Like, because that was the thing that baffled me. Like, they had such a good mode there, and it was like... I swear, Dong's got the copyright on... I swear, Dong's got the copyright on Depths of Elusive Realm. And they've done something to my guy. I saw it even Ferros was saying that. He was like, they need to bring Dong back, man, because ever since Dong's been gone, the game ain't been living up to what it was before. And I'm like, agree. Remember the first stream when Dong wasn't there? And I was like, what's happened to Dong? And then the next stream he wasn't there. And I was like, bro, he's the main guy, really, at Wua. Dong is. Like, people talk about Solon, but for a while, Dong was like the main man, wasn't he? And he's where is Dong? Like, does he still work at Kuro? Because, like, I've seen nothing of Dong. Like, is he potentially... Is he still at Kuro but working on something else for Kuro? I don't know. It's one-sided beef. Most AK players either like Limbers or don't care for it, but there are sections in the PM fan base that are hating on non-PM stuff. But okay, alright. That's like... A lot of communities got that though, right? Haven't they? Even that one was kind of I think we were just... Oh, I do as well, don't get me wrong. Like, when I criticise Wuthering Waves, it doesn't take away from the fact that I think at its core, it's a very good game, right? It's got a lot going for it. Like, Wuthering Waves is genuinely a few points away from... And don't get me wrong, from our first year of playing Wuthering Waves, I did think it was an amazing game in parts, right? But I'm critical of things I like. But, like, Wuthering is genuinely just a few, like, ticks away from being a game that's good... and okay in some degrees, to being really, really, really good, right? And sometimes it hits those notes where it's like, oh my god, okay, this is fire. It's just those don't happen enough for me, personally. Hey, Kathy, what's going on? No worries. Oh, did it BS commissions? Okay. Okay. What was it? 6 months, was it? Because they tend to do it in 6 to 12 months, don't they? Was it a 6 months license? Okay, Leo. I suspect many Limbers players actually means tiny low group. Apparently Dong is doing something with another... Ah, okay. Because they are making this MMO, apparently, right? So, yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. Oh, like... I do feel like he was the main man, right? You know? Banners Never Fall was great. He's still with Kurobot doing their new game, right? Limbers community, I interact with his chill, the Reddit and all that. I have no beef at all. Yeah, I was going to say, to be fair, I'm not going to lie. Like, I suppose it's because I don't dabble in the spaces. Like, for me, I've never really interacted with the Limbers community, quotation marks. I just interact with players who play other games that have tried Limbers company, have had nothing but good things to say about it, right? Like, I've seen Woower players who like Limbers is great. I've seen Arknights players who like Limbers is great. You know what I mean? I don't know if I've necessarily interacted with the Limbus community as a whole. It's even that is a thing a lot of the time in some games, right? You know? I think we do overestimate the idea of certain games communities. Not all, right? But, you know, sometimes it's just people who tend to play games and are vocal about it. But we, obviously, we do know that, you know, there are game communities, of course there are, right? He's done, well, that's what I'm thinking, maybe, Randy, if he's working on another thing, because that's the only other thing that I know Kuro are working on. Project Nami, maybe, yeah. Without the combat, I'm sorry, but it's shit. I didn't watch it directly, Night, but I watched Chenazad react to it. Woo is a game that's entirely product of its part. Individually, none of its pieces are remarkable. It's a mix that makes it better. I suppose that's a fair argument. I personally think the combat's very good. I think the combat hasn't been built upon enough, personally. And what I mean by that is, I don't think negative status effects were the way to go. I personally think Wuthering Waves combat could be in a better place than what it is now. Or in a vacuum on launch, right? Because it's a live service game, for me personally, to keep me interested, I think things have to evolve in combat as well, in the core components of the game, not just adding stuff on and stuff looks different. I mean, the game actually evolving, personally, especially an action combat game. And I don't think Wuthering Waves has progressed in the right direction for me there, but I do think at its core, the combat is fundamentally good, personally. But I think that's an argument you can make about a lot of games, right? Not all, but the multitude of experiences are what give you a good overall experience as well, I suppose. But yeah. If you want me some of the second grade level of stupid shit, can we see the Victorian man, please? She only saw Wuthering Waves as well. Gosh. Last man standing. Come to Enfield when it drops, guys. Come to Enfield when it drops. Come on over. The water will be warm. The water will be warm. Alright, let's get started. I think the thing is as well, though, like, sometimes you just have these moments with games, right? You just want to uninstall it for a while, and then you'll get that itch, you know? And then you're like, you know, I want to go back to it. Like, I have that, like, with Valorant, right? I'll have moments where I'll play Valorant non-stop for a bit. I ain't played it for ages now. Then I'll just get that itch and be like, you know, it's like at the moment I've installed Arena Breakout Infinite on Steam. Like I'm starting to get that itch again to want to play shooters again. I am, you know. It's been a month. It's been a while. It's been like I've played a little bit of Deadlock, and I played a little bit of, I suppose you could argue, the Destiny Rising's in there, right? And I played the Battlefield beta. But I haven't really been playing much first-person shooters, third-person shooters in general, right? But I'm getting that itch now. I keep finding myself looking at Division again and being like, I kind of want to play some Division 2, man. You know, so I'm really looking forward to Battlefield 6, I am. I can't wait. Looking forward to playing some Arena Breakout over the weekend as well. What happened to used to be your headphones? Oh no, them are old ones, dude. My fucking Turtle Beach is broke, man. My stealth's broke. So I'm using these earbuds. I bought these the other day. It's just annoying wearing a headset all the time. Yeah, I've been hearing about that where the win. Is that a gacha game or an MMO? Please give me the PC client. I hate emulators. What you want about Destiny? Right. So I was talking about this in the gacha revenue yesterday, and I was like, it would make sense to get a PC client for Destiny Rising, right? If that's what you're talking about, because obviously it's I've played some Marvel Rivals as well. I like that. Like Destiny Rising, genuinely, is ready to be on PC. Obviously, visually, it's a step down from Destiny 2. Of course it is. It's a mobile game, right? But it looks fine, right? It looks fine. It plays fine on the emulator. Thanks for the sub. And it's fun, man. It is fun. The thing is, I think, though, because obviously Destiny 2's out, that's their PC console game. And I know NetEase developed this, but obviously it's under, you know, Bungie on the IP. And I'm like, is that a thing that's going to be allowed? Would it eat? Are they worried that it's going to eat into the Destiny 2 markets? Maybe because Destiny 2 seems to be really struggling. They're like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's get Destiny Rising out on PC as well. Transfer some of those players over until Destiny 3 happens or whatever. I don't know. But I would really like Destiny Rising to have a proper PC client personally, with some extra quality settings and such, like, you know. But what did you market, Drew? Yeah, we're gonna do some reacts today. Yeah. So yeah, lock in tomorrow. Some reacts. We can get into the game as well, but some reacts. I got some videos lined up, but if you guys are going in that you want me to check out as well, if we don't get round to them, we can definitely get them in at some point. But I got a few videos. There's one here that I wanted to watch. It's come out 10 days ago and it hasn't got many views, but the title's got me interested because I think it's a powerful thing in music. The power of music in video games and gacha. So, you know, see what it's saying. I don't know what the video, well, obviously I know what the video's about, but you know what I mean? I don't know what the deal is. There's one here, my top 10 favorite Arknights operators as a new player as well, which I want to watch that one because there's a new player myself. I'm curious to see if there's a crossover there. And actually, probably take a moment to consider what is my top 10 favorite as well. Because I know a couple of my favorites, but I don't think I've ever sat and gone, what's my top 10 favorite operators? Now, obviously, the pool of experience is smaller because I'm new and I haven't built up anywhere near the amount of operators that you guys are going to build up, or even the operators I've got in my account, right? I've probably built up like 10% of the operators in my account. If that. So the pool's going to be smaller, but I thought that'd be fun to check out. We got the super video, the worst operator for every class, in-depth analysis. And there was a video here, the Ananta drama video I was kind of curious about as well. We got the Predatory Gacha Monetization tactics tier list as well, which I kind of wanted to watch from Psyche. So yeah, we got a bunch of stuff there. We got some stuff in Reddit as well I wanted to look at. Yeah. So if you guys have got anything that's of interest, let me know. Guys, if you haven't already done so, drop a like on the stream. That confirms. Yeah, to be fair, dude, every pair of Turtle Beach I've had, the headsets have been fine. It's always the broke on the cup, like the cup's broke. And the thing with those, where it's pissed me off with those, like with others, it's just wear and tear, right, usually. And I've had them for a decent bit, but it's, well, I say a decent bit. I've not had them that long, actually. I was uber careful with taking them on and off, because I always felt like, you know, because it's a weakness of headsets, right? I was always uber careful taking them off, and yeah. So at the minute, I've got these ones. They're roses. They're Logitech G535s. They're not great, right? They're super light though, and they are comfortable. The sound quality's not the best, and they don't have noise cancelling, so I'm not going to be playing like a first-person shooter with these, right? But when it comes to playing Arknights and it comes to playing like fucking Destiny Rising or, you know, Reverse 1999 or Gacha games, I don't need the best audio in the world. So I'm fine with using this and these at the moment, but I do need to get some probably for Battlefield launch. And if I'm going to be playing Arena Breakout, then I definitely do need some better headphones, because I'm going to need to know where people are. Rexon's been playing Where Winds Meet looks so fun. MMO or solo, no Gacha just paid skins and dances. Okay, interesting. Was this a CN game or Korean game? I need to do Frank Beam's Gacha edition. I was looking back at some of them videos of day. Quite a few of them got restricted ads because they were a little bit too, you know. They are easy. They are. Every single pair of these Turtle Beaches I've had have, like, don't get me wrong, Turtle Beaches get shit on for like being, you know, they're not the. I've always never had a problem with audio. I'm not an audiophile though, right? And obviously I know there's far better headsets out there in terms of audio quality and stuff, right? But like audio wise, it's always been fine for me. But yeah, fucking build quality around the hinges on the cups are trash, you know. Got a set of razors. Yeah, I've been thinking razors. I've been looking at some of the Still series as well, because like I want something, because like I must admit, because these have got like the cloth what's it? I need to find some that are cloth, noise cancelling. But I also want to go light as well, because the last two Turtle Beach headsets that I've liked. They've been a bit heavy, so you get a little bit of fatigue when you wear them for long periods of time. But I don't get it with this. Like, these are more comfortable. The sound quality is it's just not great. It's just not great, right? As I say, if I'm playing Arknights, perfectly fine. If I'm reacting to videos, fine. But, you know, I know if I'm trying to sound horn, I'm like, dude, is there somebody upstairs? Are they outside? Or I'm listening for footsteps? Are they on the gravel? Are they on the grass? It's just not going to be a fun time. And they're just not very loud either. But Arctic Trees, I was looking at some of those before, actually. I just don't know what to go for, because at the minute, I'm contemplating getting a new mic and a new headset. So, I'm looking at, like, I don't want to go stupid price, right? I'm looking at kind of a budget microphone, like 150 max, like max, right? I'm not going XLR, I want to go USB. I don't mind an XLR option for in the future, but I just don't want to buy a mixer and all that sort of shit. I just can't be arsed. And I'm looking at a headset that's not pricey too, right? I don't want to really, like, obviously there's some really good ones, but I think you get diminishing returns, right? You know? I think the headsets, you get diminishing returns, don't you? Like, there's a massive difference between a £20 headset and a £100 headset, but I don't think there's a massive, massive difference between, like, a £100 headset and a £350 headset. Is that? It's just, you know what I mean? It is real diminishing returns, isn't it? Yo, Renegade, what's going on? Considering investing in a Biodynamic 990T Pro headset. It's a tried and true product. I've tried them myself, though. They're open backs. Yeah, so that's the thing. Open backs are great because they're cool, but the only problem with open back, especially if it comes to like playing like something like Arknights, great. But sometimes, because I have to have my AC on, if I'm trying to play like an extraction shooter, it's just gonna be no good. So yeah, open backs are really not what I want to get. I love how normal headphones like Beats add artificial weight to them to make them feel more premium. Yeah, dude, like extra weight's not fun, man. Like I remember when I first got not the stealths, what was it called now? It was the Wireless Elite something. Turtle Beach, the one that I don't know if it still does, but it's the one that Dr. Disrespect used to use, and that's where I seen them because I was like, ooh, they look good. They do. I'm gonna get them, and they were really good. I had no complaints on them. Like really good sound quality. But man, when I first started to wear them, I was like, holy shit! I'd after about an hour of wearing them, I'd start to. It wasn't an headache. But I just, you know what I mean? It was just fatigue. It's like, bro, you know? I feel like I've got lead weights on my fucking head, man. Yeah, I'm just, if anybody has any, wants to link in Discord at any time, I'm down to take a look, because if anybody's got any ideas on mics as well, because I'm kind of Dr. Diddy, you know. Yeah, this was before all that. Like, I've had this Blue Yeti for years, right? But I want a new mic. It's great thing about Blue Yetis, yeah. They're tanks, all metal, heavy duty, right? Fucking good shit. Like I've been looking at like the Fifine mics. They're not expensive. They're like 70 quid. I don't know that's a lot of money, but for like a microphone, for a decent-ish mic, it's not a lot. But like, yeah, man. Obviously, they're tried and trusted. It's the Shure, right? The Shure mic. But you're looking at what? Probably like £200, £300 for the mic. Then you've got to get an XLR mixer. So you're probably looking at anywhere between like £500 to £700 for a Shure mic. And I'm not spending that. I'm not spending that, right? I'm just not. I'm not doing it. Like, if I was having 1,000 viewers every downstream and I was getting 50,000 views a video, maybe. I ain't spending nearly £1,000 on a microphone, man. I'm just not doing it. Like, this cost me, I think this was 80, 90 quid when I bought it. And I've had this mic now probably for 10 fucking years, right? I had an M Audio Technica mic as well. And I paid 50 quid for that, and that lasted about 7 years as well. So, like, yeah, I'm just not doing that. The Elgato Wave 3. Yeah, I wish you had places where you could go test out mics like that. Like, we haven't really got, you probably have in, like, London and maybe Brum and stuff, but there's nowhere near me where I can go and properly test out mics, because I've been watching a lot of videos, and, like, Wave seems to come up decent on things, but one that's come up as a really good budget mic apparently is the Samsung, not Samsung, the Samsung Q2U microphone. You know, it's I need a mic and voice change to make something bosh. The code switching, live real-time code switching, yeah. I do like the look of the Elgato 3. The Elgato make nice looking stuff, right? You know, like, for me, at the minute, I'm a little bit hesitant to spend money on Elgato, and that's mainly because I've always had Elgato products. I've had the Elgato HC60, the Elgato HC60S. I've now got the Elgato 4K. I hate talking about it, touch wood, because every time I talk about it, something happens. And the capture card itself, it's great, right? It's a brilliant capture card, but it causes my PCs to blue screen, my streaming PCs, and it is the capture card. I know the exact driver. It doesn't matter if I put it in another PC. It causes that PC to blue screen. It's probably a hardware issue, really. That's obviously it's a driver, but it's just too weird that it's doing it across different PCs, right? I've been in contact with Elgato. They've offered me custom driver rollbacks. I've tried a myriad of different drivers. Nothing works. It's I'll say this now, watch it happen. It hasn't done it for ages. It's so freaking random. I can go 6 months without an issue, and then it can blue screen twice in 2 days, in a day, you know? It causes no issues to my PC, but like, it'll just blue screen, I have to start the PC back up, and then I have to go again, like, but obviously, because it's my streaming PC, it knocks my streams offline, and like, it's annoyed me so much over the time that it makes me not want to spend money with Elgato, right? And being fair though, they've been they've been helpful, right? As helpful as they can, really. I probably should have just RMA'd it, if I'm honest. But because it's an internal capture card, I've had it out and fitted it in another PC and then fitted it back in this PC, and I'm just like, I can't be arsed just for that random blue screen every now and again. So, yeah, I'm like a little bit, what's it? The mic had a big hand in the Dr. Disrespect incident, you know. Yeah, dude, yeah. You want to use Bose? I think it's called for a mic. Yeah, Bose make good audio equipment, don't they? Yeah, this mic's a tank. Say whatever you want. A lot of people roast blue microphones, right? Because I'm like, oh, it's what every YouTuber gets. It's every YouTuber's. It's like they call it the baby first step mic. Every YouTuber buys a blue Yeti. There's a reason why. It's not the best sounding mic, and I haven't really learned how to get it to sound the best, right? I'm just not great at all that stuff, right? But fucking, it's heavy duty, man. The build quality on these things, you know. Sorry about this in your ears. It's really good. It's pretty much all metal. You know what I mean? Okay, you can still hear me, yeah? Okay, cool. Oh, have you guys heard about fucking Game Pass? I'm cancelling my Game Pass. Yeah, this is what I was talking about, just BS commissions. It's just so expensive as well with the mixer and everything, you know what I mean? We're talking hundreds and hundreds, can't you? I'd love one. I'd love one. You know, it's probably the best you can go with in this industry, but I just don't want to pay that much, man. Oh, no, we've been yapping. Have we been alive for 40 minutes? We ain't been alive that long, have we? Fuck, we nearly have. Shit. I can yap, can't I? It's you lot, man. It's you lot. I can't yap like this normally. So I'm chilling with you, yeah? Dark Wolf, what's up, dude? What's up with Game Pass? Well, hold up. Let me, some bullshit. Some absolute bullshit. Like, they've changed the whole thing now, yeah. Like, because I think I pay for Xbox. I think I pay for Ultimate. I don't fucking know anymore, right? But now they've got 3 different tiers. But like, you have to have the top tier now to get access to the, which I know that's kind of how it is now, but basically, price is going up 50%. It's a terrible image there. The website crashed yesterday because everybody was trying to cancel their membership. The website crashed because there was that many people trying to get on to cook toys. No aim is the streamer, man, blaming us. Alright, so let me turn this down a little bit. Okay, so they've upped the price basically. The price is going up basically. Too long don't read. Price is going up, right? $30 for Ultimate now. So I can't remember when the what's it changed, right? But I'm pretty sure I'll pay for Ultimate, or I don't know. I'll pay for one anyway, right? Where I think it's like 12 to 15 quid a month. Before I used to get everything. That's all I know. I used to get everything because I play on PC. I've been playing on PC for the longest time, and I get everything, right? And I get everything. I don't know if I've got like, I don't know if I've been grandfathered from a previous price point. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I'm pretty sure I was paying like I think I was paying like 15 quid a month, something like that, right? 12, 15 quid a month, whatever anyway, right? And as far as I'm aware, I got access to everything I played on PC. New games that came out, you got access to them. That ain't the case anymore. So it's going up to $30 a month. I would assume because in the UK, we get shafted, because even though it's not a direct correlation because of freaking the value of the pound to the dollar, it shouldn't be £30, but it probably will be fucking £29, or at least 25. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 30 quid. So now you've got Essential, which you can now play on PC, and that's $10 a month. So you're getting unlimited cloud gaming, in-game benefits including for Riot Games, online console, multiplayer, play and earn up to £25 a year in store with rewards. So basically now, they're doing a fucking daily login thing or some shit, right? So as you play games, you earn fucking points, right? And then these points, I guess you can use them to buy shit, right? So basically, they're turning fucking Game Pass into a job that you pay for, right? Right, you pay to work in a sense. So you pay for the Game Pass, you'll get points rebated for when you're playing games. You can then use to get games, I'm assuming, right? Or at least it says in-store rewards, which makes me think that's, if that's not games, watch it be like Steam, and they'll be like, hey, you want to buy this, like, flashing fucking profile picture for your account or some shit like that. So then we got the Premium, which is 200 plus games, now available on PC, and then you get new Xbox published games within a year of launch, so you don't get them right away, right? Unlimited cloud gaming with shorter wait times, in-game benefits include for Riot Games, online console, multiplayer, playing up to earn up to $50 a year within store. Now, you've got Ultimate for $30, right? All of the other things. Now you get 75 plus day one games a year. I'd love to know how they're going to stick to that. Because, like, have they planned, like, purchases, licensing purchases for the next so many years for games? Because what if there's not 75 games that they've got access to license-wise that launch that year? You know, are they going to keep, is that going to be something they're going to be able to guarantee? I'll be interested in that. I know it's a nitpick thing. The rest of it's worse, but it's just a thing that I'm curious of. So, including all Xbox published games day one, right? You got Ubisoft Classics and EA Play, which I have that now, right? So I must be on Ultimate, but I am not paying anywhere near this, right? So I'll get that now, which I'm getting rid of anyway, because you can just get them for like a $5 on Steam anyway, I think. Fortnite Crew coming in November. Unlimited cloud gaming at our best quality with shortest wait times at our best quality. So they're going to give you a bit of bandwidth as well. In-game benefits including for Riot Games, online console multiplayer, play and earn up to $100 a year. You know? So, fuck Game Pass. I'm cancelling it later. I ain't doing it. I ain't used my Game Pass for a while, actually, right? I tend to use Game Pass now for new games, right? I think I've been playing the Division 2 on Game Pass as well, so I'm going to have to start the Division 2 again, because it's through the EA Play through Game Pass. So maybe, actually, if I can go to EA and I can do it that way, because you have to log in. EA's trash and Ubisoft anyway. So it doesn't matter what service you're using, you still have to have your account sorted there anyway to do anything, which I suppose you could argue makes sense because it has to link. So hopefully, if I could just get EA Play Is it EA Play? Whichever one anyway. Whatever anyway. I know I'm playing. Is it EA with the Division or is it Ubisoft? Remind me. I forgot. Whatever anyway. I think I was playing it through Game Pass, the Division 2. I think I was anyway. I was playing it through something. It might have been. Who publishes the Division 2 now? Who is he? Ubisoft. Okay, Ubisoft. I misspoke. Ubisoft. So yeah. I might have to start the Division 2 again. So that sucks. So yeah. Fuck Game Pass. Fuck Microsoft. We probably knew this was coming. I simped for Game Pass for the longest time. Simped. Right, yeah, it's always been you, but yeah, I misspoke. I simped for this product for ages. I said it was the best value in gaming, right? You could pay 10 quid, 12 quid a month, right? You got access to all of these games, big backlog of games. You got new games on launch, and now they're doing this, right? It sucks. Like, yeah, I'll be cancelling my Game Pass. I'm done with it. So yeah, apparently the site crashed yesterday because so many people were trying to cancel that. The site went down. So this just says to me as well. I've been saying it for years. I don't think we'll see another Xbox console. The fact that they've ramped up the price here kind of confirms it. Yeah, I think they're going to go to a service provider, aren't they? They're probably just going to try and get it on the PlayStation. They're probably just going to try and get it on PC, Switch, everything that you know, because they've already kind of done that, haven't they? Anyway, I don't think we'll be seeing another Xbox console. But yeah, I expected pay rises, right, or price rises, should I say? I didn't expect this shit. You know, hey, you want to work for us? You can get $100 a year, bro, if you like slave away playing games every day. Like, fuck off, man. Jeez, might be all right for little kids, maybe. Like, you know, the parents pay for it and there's a way for them to maybe earn something for in-store credit. Fair enough. Okay. Everybody else, like, fuck off. You know what I mean? So, yeah, Game Pass is dead to me now. Game Pass is dead to me. So, yeah. Microsoft has given up. Yeah, they've definitely given up with the console side of things, haven't they? So let me have a look, actually. Let me just change things in case it shows any login deets. Let me open up my Xbox app a second. Let me see if I can quickly cancel it right here, right now, actually. So, in my library at the moment, it's showing reverse 1999 Blue Archive and Sword of Convalaria for some reason, I guess. So, yeah. I'm going to have to buy Battlefield 2042. Steam sale's on now, right? So, hopefully I can get Battlefield 2042 for cheap. Because I do like Battlefield 2042. I know Battlefield 6 is coming out, but still. It's because it's connected to my Steam. That's why it's showing all this sort of stuff, yeah. So, yeah. Battlefield 2042 and Oblivion. And I think Division as well, yeah. I think Division's what I've been playing on there. So yeah, I'm done with this now. Get him rid. I'm gonna cancel that. So it is a shame. It is a shame. You know what? Let's have a look. Let's have a look, actually. Chat was trying to peer pressure me into buying the to buying the other Project Moon games. Alright, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the deep discount, shall we? Feature deep discounts. Doom Eternal's £3.50. Cold Veins £4. What else we got in here? Fractured Buttholes £2.50. Obviously, you'll have to take into account what it is for you guys. Greedfalls, 3 books, 3 quid. Not much in the deep discounts, is there? Damn. Okay. Let's have a look for Expedition 33, shall we? It is on sale. It's only down off. It's only got 10% off though. Do you guys randomly change your birth date on this as well? I have it at 1919 usually. I've got it at 1981 now. I'm increasing my age just for the funsies. Man, if I say that, that's even older than Tectone said I was. Fuck. But yeah, 3779 chat. 3779. Dune Awakening's got 20% off. Apparently this is good actually, isn't it? Space Marine's got 50% off. Man, games are expensive now, aren't they? Okay. I've been thinking about getting Final Fantasy Tactics. I really want to get Final Fantasy Tactics.
Peggy 12.
It's only 40 quid at the minute, actually, so... Oh, what's the TGS sale? Still need to play the first one, I do. You're more bald than Techie, ain't no way, I know, yeah. Man, with my hairline, I genuinely think if I ever lived to like 100, I'd still have a fat head of hair, I would. Still the OG, still the one, still the one. Yeah, sales-wise, I don't think there's anything spectacular. Get the Division for 4 quid. Let me have a look at, have a look at Battlefield 24. Ah, fuck. Oh, what? I bought it. Oh, shit, I must have bought it. Maybe I did buy it. It was on sale last time then. Buzzing. I forgot. So we sale hunt. Yeah, just having a little gander. Just having a little gander. DLC we got. What DLC we got? Chat. I still need to play this. I've got this and I haven't played it yet. Dead by Daylight still does well, yeah. It's never been trending. Age of Wonders. Have a look at top sellers actually. EA Sports FC bundle. Oh, that's one that I'm a little bit annoyed about though. Fuck. I might have to buy this. Then because I was recently, well, say recently, it was last Christmas, I started playing through the Master Chief Collection again. I played Reach. I went through Halo 1. I was just currently playing through Halo 2 and then I started streaming again. And I kind of want to go through all the Halo games again. So I'm probably going to have to buy them. Because I'm going to lose Halo from not having Game Pass anymore, which kind of sucks. I do Duck Lord. I've heard it's really good. Man. I just need to set myself, because that's one I definitely want to play off stream. I don't want to do that content-wise. I just want to enjoy that off stream, I do. I still need to play Dying Light 2 as well. I bought the Dying Light 2 Reload Edition. I still haven't played that yet either, because I love Dying Light 1. Yeah, nothing catching my eye, chat. Nothing catching my eye, man, really. There's nothing spectacular out here. Drink some water. Yeah, 2BS. I'm not really into them asymmetric PvP like game. The only one that I ever really enjoyed for a little bit was it was a Halloween one, yeah. Yeah, that one. Ruiners of Tenor, is he? Like, what? is Borderlands 4 a bad game, or does it just run bad? Because, like, I've seen gameplay of Borderlands 4, I'm like, man, it looks kind of cool. But, like, I've heard nothing but bad stuff about it. I've heard people saying it runs like fucking an asthmatic with one leg. Putting bagpipe in worst operations in thumbnail is definitely a choice. Don't buy games you can't promise you'll have time to play. Well, the way I do it, right, if a game's on sale, I look at it like, I might not play this, but it's there for the future, right? It's there for the future. And if I can get a game that's like £3 and it's down from 30 quid, this is how they get you though, right? This is because I'm a consumer. This is how Gacha gets me. I'm like, it'd be a sin not to buy it, right? I'm kind of wasting money if I don't buy it. You know? So, Borderlands 4 is great, but it runs like a paraplegic snail. Yeah. See, because, like, yeah, it does, like, that's... maybe that's one that I get post-launch. Maybe catch it on a sale, maybe. Because, you know, I do like the look of it. But Randy is a dickhead, isn't he? So, you know. But, because I never really got into the Borderlands series that much. I liked Borderlands 2. I played a little bit of it, right, but I didn't play a lot of it. But Neo used to be a big Borderlands. Borderlands 2 was your one, yeah. Randy's ruining it. Randy's been running his own name into the ground for years. And should we get into some reacts then, chat, shall we? I think I've been yapping long enough. Long enough, chat. Okay. Man, I've nearly let that go through. It's an hour, and I ain't done shit yet. I do apologise. Hey, we've been here chatting, yeah. I got more people watching here now talking shit than when we was playing Arknights yesterday. Chat. I'm going to blame you again. What we got here then? Let's watch this one because I am very curious about
number
this.
10, Melantha.
Oh, we're going straight into it, just like that. You ain't even going to warm me up. Oh my god. Twist his dick. Okay, a good old dick twist. Let's put this over here. Okay, I am, as a fellow new player myself, this one might be fun. My top 10 favorite Arknights operators as a new player. I haven't actually gone through, I guess, my top 10, because I think it's an ever-changing thing, right? It's ever-changing, what's your favourite operators. And then I think with a game like this as well, like with any gacha game, you can kind of have multiple lists, because you can kind of have the best ones that are like your favourite ones because they're just really good, your favourite ones because they look cool, your favourite ones because they've got real cool characters and such. So I think we might do my 10 as well. So we'll open Arknights in a bit and we'll go through that. But I'm curious to see what this person's top 10 is, and then I think we'll maybe go through mine as well. So this is from Pixel Wiz. Shout out to Pixel Wiz. We're going to drop it a preemptive like. Top 10 favorite Arknights operators as a new player. Let me know if the audio's good.
10, Melantha.
Understood.
Look, I get
Straight
it.
into
She's
it.
a 3-star in a world of 6-star gods. But when some monstrosity I didn't plan for breaks through my line, I don't panic. I have a solution. It's a solution named Melantha. Her stats are so good.
I think as a new player as well, like Melantha is actually genuinely good, right? Like stat-wise, she is pretty good early on, like, right? Yeah, and that's fair. That's fair.
Good that dropping her in is the equivalent of pointing at a problem and saying,
we have to take this in context of a new player as well,
fancy
right?
Mechanics. She just needs a target and a few seconds.
Yeah,
she's the embodiment of simple but effective, and that's why she's earned her spot at number 10.
Okay.
Landing at number 9, it's a 2-for-1 special. I'm talking about both the original 3-star Cruise and her 5-star version.
I was just about to say, Cruz has to be on the list for a new player. Cruz has to be on the list. Like, if we're talking brand new player, right? Obviously, like, now my idea of my favourites has probably changed a little bit because, like, you know, the additions of Ascalon, Lapiulta, you know, Monster, Mountain, OPP, these sort of units, right, which are all amazing. But if we're going to go, like, you know, new player, you know, you're playing through the first few chapters of the game. Cruz has to be on the list, man. She's so freaking good. She's so cute. Her voice lines are great, and she's a really useful unit as well.
Cruise the Keen Glint. Though a certain turquoise-haired hologram waifu might disagree with this placement.
Excuse me? Are you ready? Sure.
That's another plus. That's another plus.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yo!
Let me could not talk to me.
Yo! I did not think I was getting attacked coming into this video, chat. I did not expect this British slander, man. I get enough of this. To be fair, though, it's fair. Is she Aussie?
I just love Cruz.
Is she?
That's the reason. From her British voice to her zero stress attitude, she's always been a joy to have around. The 3-star was a foundational piece of my early teams. Always
I do like
reliable,
this skin as well.
always taking care of business. And the 5-star version, it's just more of a good thing. It's not a replacement, it's a bonus round. They share the spot because together they represent one of my favorite arcs in the game. Pure, simple, and always a welcome sight on the squad.
Yeah, simple unit to use, no fluff, no needing to figure out what's going on, large range, does a job, can deal with like multiple situations as well. Yeah, just a great early damage dealing unit for aerial units as well. Covers a big range, and as I say, just super simple, right? Super simple. Aussie equals British. True. This is true. It's just British light, isn't he? It's just British light. She's Billetonian. Okay.
Number 8, I have
British
Fang.
light then.
I know she's just a 3-star van.
I've got a love-hate relationship with Fang, right? I love Fang, right? Early on in the game, everybody's using Fang. You just are. But she's just like, she's cannon fodder for me. Which I suppose that's a good thing. She has been a sacrificial lamb for far too many stages early on in the game for me. So, you know, all right, I respect it.
Vanguard, but Fang holds a special place in my roster. She was one of the first operators I got early in the game, and she quickly became a consistent part of my strategy for tackling those initial stages. What I love about Fang is her straightforward reliability. Her skill, Charge Alpha, automatically generates 6 DP.
I wouldn't use the term reliable for me. But that was more on me, really.
Each time it activates, which is incredibly helpful in the
Pix
opening
doesn't
moments of
deserve
the stage
Vangs.
when you're scrambling to
True.
deploy
Can't
other
keep her
operators
alive.
quickly.
True.
Plus,
This is
she
true.
can block 2 enemies, giving her just enough utility to hold the line while I set up my defenses.
She's really useful early on, though.
Sure, she might not have the flashy skills or high stats of rarer vanguards, and she's stuck at Elite 1 max promotion, which limits her late game potential.
Like, Fang is the character you show to people when she's fighting one unit that's got a little bit of health that it takes her a while to kill at the end of a round to show people the real true Arknights experience, right? You know, when you want to say, look, let me show you how cool this game can be. You show the last enemy on a stage, Fang fighting an enemy that's not really doing too much damage to her. It's got a decent chunk of health, and then that's the way to sell this game. You know, just poke. It's pretty peak.
But her low DP cost, especially with her lightweight talent reducing it further, and solid DEF, make her a cost-effective choice for certain situations, even later on. For me, Fang represents that early game reliability I still look back on fondly. And that's what landed her on this list. Alright, hitting that number 7 spot on my personal favorites list is Spectre. I gotta be honest, I mostly just think she's really cool. I remember when I first got her, I saw that she could hit multiple enemies she's blocking with her whirlwind axe attacks, and I was like, okay.
I don't have her, do I? Do I? I've never used her.
That's awesome. She's been a solid part of my squad for holding down lanes ever since. But her second skill is the real reason she's here for me. It's called Bone Fracture, and it's just completely nuts. When you activate it, she literally cannot die for the duration of the skill. Her HP won't drop below 1, and she gets this massive attack boost. I've lost count of how many times that has totally saved a run for me when a huge wave of enemies shows up. Okay. Yeah, she gets stunned afterwards, but it's always worth it. It feels like such a powerful, clutch move. I also kind of dig the whole mysterious vibe she has going on with the other Abyssal Hunters, like Gladia. I don't really follow the deep lore, but I like that she's part of this eerie group of super soldiers from the sea. It just makes her feel more unique. So yeah, Spectre is definitely a favorite of mine. She's reliable, she has a super satisfying oh crap button skill, and she's just got a cool factor that I really enjoy. Landing at number...
I do like those panic skills, you know, when you get the panic placement, the op that's there just to, like, you know, shit.
Number 6 on my list is Lava.
Hurry up.
Now I know what you're thinking.
Okay.
Wow, this guy really loves his 3 stars. And yeah, I really do. There's a lot of charm in their simplicity that I don't always get from a flashier 5 or 6 star.
Well, if we're looking at this from a new player's perspective, right, I think that's fair, because, like, with a game that's got so many mechanics, a lot of depth, a lot of nuance, a lot of options and variability, and just an almost insane amount of way to tackle content, that early part of the game, some people say maybe it's a little bit slow in introducing you to things, right? But that early part of the game, having units that are just simplistic in what they do, it gives you a bit of breathing room to really get your head around, like, you know, things like your placement order, even though I still mess that up to this day, you know, positioning, you know, looking at the way what enemies do and the way they move, having that simplicity with not having to worry about too much about what your operator's doing, it's definitely a useful thing, right?
Operator, and Lava is no exception. She's one of those operators that I just found myself using all the time when I was first building my teams. As a splash caster, her job is really straightforward.
So you gotta love the
multiple
AoE.
enemies at once with her art standish. I can always count on her to clear out those groups of weaker enemies that like to
I never really used her a lot, but she did come in useful in quite a few stages, actually. She was actually really useful.
swarm the lane, which takes a lot of pressure off my other units. Her skill is simple but effective. It just lets her attack faster, which is exactly what you want for that role. She's also really easy to build since she's a lower rarity, which I appreciated a lot early on when resources were
That's a thing you have to take into account as well, right? Not just easier to use. Some of these lower rarity ops easy to build as well. So in terms of material resources early game, they're really useful for that, aren't they? Ain't no way you named a skill as Bone Fracture. Fangled me over when she carried my first IS2 ending 3 run. The boss stage is slow DB gen, and I never got vanguard tickets after the start. Okay, all right.
tight. And there's something about her design and character that I just really like a lot. She might not be the most complex operator, but she's reliable, she does her job well, and she's been a consistent part of a lot of my clears.
Ease
For
of
that,
use, we spoke
she's
about this
definitely
yesterday,
one of my
right?
favorites.
Okay, taking the number 5 spot is Arknights, and I have absolutely no shame about this. I am completely, utterly down bad for her. Look, she is perfect.
To be fair, I think most people are down bad for those thighs, right? Those thighs, like, bruh. You know what I'm saying?
She is the ultimate short stack, and I am 100% here for it. Every time she's on my screen, I'm just like... She could have the worst kit in the entire game, and I'd still find a way to use her.
True.
Thankfully, she's also actually really...
I don't actually use that, but like that's fair, right? That's fair. She looks good enough to just be there, right? It's
fun to play. She drops these little trap things that you can detonate whenever you want, which
need
is great
to
for
use her,
setting up
actually.
big, satisfying moments. But
I
let's
haven't
be
used
real,
it since I got her.
that's just a bonus. I'm here for her. She is, without a doubt, the coolest operator in my roster. I am feral
Super
for
thick
Wolfenite.
snack.
She is an easy top 5 for me. Sliding into the number 4 spot
Thicker
on
than a
my
bowl of
list,
oatmeal.
XU Sai.
Bro, what is bro playing this game on? He must be on mobile or something, yeah, because this is running pretty fucking rough.
I got her pretty early on, and she immediately became a permanent fixture on my team. Her role is so straightforward, she just shoots a lot. When you activate her skill, her guns basically become a non-stop bullet hose, and it is incredibly satisfying to watch her shred through enemies. There's something really reliable about that. I don't have to think about complex setups or timing. If something needs to be deleted from the map, she's my go-to. She makes dealing with drones and other annoying enemies so much easier. For me, she's the definition of a workhorse operator. She might not be the flashiest pick for this list, but I appreciate her consistency and raw power so much.
Nah, my phone runs better than this, for real. Bro's MVPs, whatever this device is, because it's struggling, man. It's struggling.
She's carried me through so many stages, and that's exactly why she's one of my favorites. All right, landing at number 3, and I know a certain doctor in the comments is going to be very happy about this one.
These niggas talking out of they own. Motherfuck the big 3. Nigga, fuck me, nigga.
It's Gladia. Let me be clear.
Everybody keeps telling me, man, because of all PP, I need to get her. I need to get her, don't I?
I don't fully understand the whole Abyssal Hunter thing. I don't know the deep lore, but what I do know is that Gladia is effortlessly, breathtakingly cool. The moment she steps
She's
on
a
the
cool
screen,
looking
you can
operator.
just feel it. She has this presence that's just
Aura.
commanding. She's the leader,
Aura.
and you don't need a story summary to get that. And her gameplay? While I don't always need a Hookmaster specialist for every stage, but yeah, she's pretty good regardless, and in most stages I bring her along anyway since she gives a pretty good buff to Spectre. But beyond all that, she's just incredibly designed. Her animations are smooth and lethal, her voice is calm yet authoritative, everything about her screams icon. She's the kind of operator that makes you feel like a strategic genius just for using her. So yeah, for her sheer cool factor, her unique and powerful playstyle, and for making me feel like I know what I'm doing even when I don't, Gladia easily secures the number 3 spot. Sitting menacingly in the number 2 spot is none other than El Banana herself. Honestly, I like her for a lot of the same reasons I like Gladia.
I still haven't built her. Like, I really need to get her in, man. I really do need to get her in.
In that she looks really cool. She's got this dark, regal aesthetic to her.
She does.
And something in her design really gives an intense presence. But more than her design, gameplay-wise, she's an absolute blast. She's a Shaper caster, first of her kind among 6 stars as far as I'm concerned, and summons these little minion things that fight for her and don't consume deployment slots, and it creates a really fun and surprisingly
E2 to make all
uncomplicated
PP
playstyle where your minions do all the work for
that's
you.
a big rip.
It also helps me out a bit when I'm worried about deployment order of enemy
That's a big
attacks,
rip.
since at any given moment Eblena's minions will technically be the most recently deployed units on the map and take the enemy fire. So, She's super useful and super fun and has a fantastic design, so yeah, this is an easy number 2 spot. All right, we've reached the top of the list, the number 1 spot. And honestly, was there ever any doubt? She's my profile picture for a reason. The one and only Lapland.
Ciao, doctor.
Where do I even begin? Let's start with the
I respect this man. I respect this man, or whatever, because it's AI. I don't know if it's a dude or a chick. Yeah, big respect, big respect.
Her aesthetic is absolute perfection. The
Big
messy white
moment
hair,
for the
she looks
unemployed.
beautifully, brilliantly unhinged. She oozes a kind of chaos.
Up until, well, great, guys, you know, you can see I'm a fan. You can see I'm a fan, right? Again, altar, chef's kiss.
Chaotic energy that I am completely and utterly addicted to. Even in her voice lines, she has bottomless personality.
Yeah.
And don't even get me started on her gameplay. As a Lord Guard, she can slash through any poor soul stupid enough to cross her path.
She
And since she can deal arts damage, she pretty much
man.
doubles as a caster, which is always fantastic. And that
She's
makes her
back
pretty
in
good
for
already, but she also has a
chapter 9
silence
as
on
well.
top of that. You really can't go wrong with her. For me, Lapland is more than just an operator. She's a mood. She's chaos incarnate, raw
She's
power
wife.
and pure
She's
style,
wife.
all wrapped into one. She is, without a single doubt, my number 1 favorite. It was never even a competition.
What? You guys really thought I'd end a video without plugging the Patreon? Seriously though, I updated the tiers a bit to make it a bit more popular.
Okay, I like the tier list. I like the tier list, actually. Respect it. Lappy is number 1. Love the fact that Cruz is on there as well. Like, based, you know me. I'm a big fan of Cruz, right? Her voice lines. She's just such a cute character. Again, super simple. You know what? I'll tell you what. Considering we've just done that, let's get Arknights booted up a second, right? Let's just boot Arknights up a second. And let's have a look at my roster. And let's do our top 10 then as well for these. Because I've never really articulated. And again, this isn't static, right? It's just a bit of fun. Because like all this sort of stuff changes all the time. But I've never really been like, oh, what's my top 10, right? I've got like favorite units, but I've never really set that arbitrary, ooh, what's the top 10, right?
I'm not nervous.
Okay, so obviously my pool of operators is small because, you know, I haven't built up a lot of operators and I'm newish to the game as well. So I'm doing it from the prism of being a new player as well. Or, we've got to put it in order as well, right? Do we have to put it in order? In any order? Okay, all right. This is what's it. Okay, then. I'm going to go in with, as well. I'm going to go in with, Cruz has to be in there for me. Cruz has to be in there. Number 10, I'm putting Cruz in. As a new player, I'm not going to base this all around exactly starting the game off, but from a new player perspective, she's just really useful to your squad. She's a fun character, great voice lines, simple to use, big range, does the job, right? Does exactly what it says on the tin, right? Does exactly what it says on the tin. She is really good for that, right? You don't need to really think about anything at all, right? So she is definitely on there. See, I don't know if this character deserves to be higher up or not. I feel like maybe they do, just for the sheer usefulness throughout my playtime. Or I'm gonna put them... Oh, this feels really wrong to put them at 9. I haven't really, like, had the time to think out the order so much here, so some of them might change here. I'm gonna put Silence in at number 9, because Silence... you know, she's sick. She's sick. That drone, it's just ridiculous. She's just one of those, like, she's always useful, right? She has rarely left my squad since I got her. And if a unit hasn't really been at my squad since I've got her, or him, then they're going on the list, right? And she hasn't really... I can't remember the last time I didn't really use her, right? She's super useful. Pretty much every roadblock that we've been on, bar... Actually, I think she was even on the R88 stage, wasn't she? The drone stage. I think I even had her on there. She's been on pretty much everything else, right? She's been on pretty much everything else. So I'll go in with 9 for Silence.
Here's a coffee cup, my last 2 Bobucks before paycheck.
Yo, Ringo! My last 2 Bobucks. Thank you very much for the 2, dude. Really appreciate that. Guys, show some love in the chat for Ringo, man. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the super chat. Absolute legend. Absolute legend. I'll have a cup of tea in a minute. I'll have a cup of tea on you, dude. I'll have a cup of tea on you. Appreciate that. So, yeah. Cruise 10. Silence 9. This is actually kind of hard. I am going to put Mountain in at number 8. Mountain in at number 8, chat. Great lane holder. Low DP costs. Dude sounds sick as well. You know, his voice lines are great. He looks cool. When he's kicking the shit out of stuff as well, it sounds really good, yeah. You know, when his skills on and he starts punching people, it's just an enjoyable moment for me. An absolutely enjoyable moment. Once again, dude, thanks for that very much for the super chat. So yeah, Mountain at number 8. Oh man, I feel like I don't know if I'm gonna be able to squeeze everybody on here. I'm gonna go Inez at number 7. Thais, great DP printer. Rarely left my squad since she's been introduced to the squad. Just, need I say any more? Need I say any more, chat? Now, you have to take this in the idea that these are all at E1 as well, guys, right? So, she is my number 7. She's my number 7, chat, okay? Yo, Faithless, thank you very much for the raid. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream, guys. Appreciate the raid, man. You're going to make some food. Have a good stream. Thank you very much for the raid, Faithless. Enjoy your food. And hopefully stream went well as well. Appreciate you. Shout out to the raiders coming over on Twitch. Appreciate you. I know I need to get it, man. I'm a larper. So, Inez at 7. Ooh. This could probably be higher, right? Because they're new, and I've only really just started using them. Monster at number 6, because, oh my god, she's fucking good, right? She's really, really good. Like, ridiculous heals, the attack speed buff as well, the chain healing. It's really good. Now I've started using that. She's fucking stupid. Like, I think she's ridiculous, right? So, Monster at number 6. Ooh, we're getting into the big boys now. We're getting into the big boys. Ooh, we're getting into the big boys, chat. You know what? Click at number 5. Click's just great. Love voice line when she comes into the game. Yeah, Click's a chick, yeah. Is Click a chick or a dude now? I keep forgetting. Whatever they are, they're cool. Really like Click. So Click at number 5. Great mech caster. Does the job. Simple enough. Does it quite well as well. Really, you've been really useful for some of the difficult stages for me. She's a girl. Okay, cool. Okay. I've got to be careful with this game because we won't go down to the trap moment, but we're not going to talk about that. So Click at 5. Okay. Ooh. So I've got to think about these now. So 4. Oh. I think I know who my top 2 are, but I feel like this next one maybe deserves to be higher. Maybe deserves to be higher. Okay. All right. Okay. I think I've got it. So 4. Yeah, I'm going to go with this one just because they've been in my account longer. Quora. I was thinking you because you so much fun to use. So great when you hit that timing right and you pull it in and you chain it with a bunch of enemies. Honorable mention you. I'm going to go with Quora just because she's been so useful in so many stages. And I suppose from a newer player perspective, had a bigger impact on my early game, right? But Yui's really good. But I'm going to go Quora at 4. Number 3, I'm going to go with Ulpipi. Ulpianus is at number 3. Pure and simple. Was a bit of a get out of jail free card for JT83. Actually insane. The best 50-50 loss ever in Gacha for me. It was plot armor. That stage went from being not impossible, but very fucking hard to actually achievable, and reduced the amount of tries on that stage drastically. You know, huge clutch moment that was for me, Ulpianus, and has kind of been in the squad pretty much since. Dude's just a fucking beast. You know what I mean? Absolute beast. What, highest HP in the game. Deals a good bit of damage as well. Bro's just a monster, right? Absolute monster. It feels kind of bad putting him at 3 just because of the pure usefulness he's had since. But there's two that have to come before it. And I think you guys might know who the two are. I'm pretty sure you know who the two are, right? I'm really struggling to decide which one goes first. Because it's like... oh man. One is like super... Well, they're both wife. But one's like... The character I just love. The voice lines. The whole demeanor. The look. Everything about her. And then the other one... It's just been so freaking useful. Like, so useful. Like, a hard carry. Often. Like, they both carried me a lot, right? But... man, this is so tight. I'm going to have to go Ascalon number 2. Ascalon number 2 was... ridiculous unit, right? Absolute hard carry since we got her. So good. So clutch. Just legit. And then I think you guys know who number 1 is. It's Lappy. It's Lappy Ulta. You'll see my wallpaper in the game. That she purely picks Ascalon there because I like her character, right? They're both indispensable units for me. Like they're core components of. Obviously, it depends on what you're tackling, right? But Ascalon has been so useful. Probably, maybe more so than Lappy, if I'm honest. But like, and Ascalon can do stuff that obviously some other people in my team can't. But Lappy just has such a specific, real useful skill that like I've got nobody else that can do that, right? You know, that global range is ridiculous. Obviously, if I had E2, it could be even more insane. But yeah, I'm going to go with Lappy Ultra choice. Like, I love Lappy. Love her. She's the original. But... You know... It's Lappy with... it's Lappy Extra, right? It's Lappy Extra. And that seals the deal for me. So yeah, that's my top 10. So, both got Lappy at number 1. So, I respect it. Cruz is in the list as well, but... Silence had to be in my list, man. Now, I suppose that shows the difference in well people play the game as well. 2 of my top 10 are healers, right? 2 of my top 10 are healers, so I was even thinking about Reed, but I just don't use her enough. But yeah, Monster and Silence have to be in that list, right? Inez is just quality. Well, PP's great. Core is just legendary. Click's great as well. Like I say, U is a definite honourable mention because, like, U's a bit more useful than Cora for me. But, like, Cora's, like, man, without Cora, you know, some stages going through the early game before we had any real replacements would have been a problem. She's been so useful. You know, that skill gets the extra block right. Defense goes up. Yeah. Clutch. Yeah, I'd say that's my top 10 as well then. And obviously, you can see there's a reason why Lappy's on the list, right? You can see why Lappy's on the list because, you know, the wallpaper, man, the wallpaper. So yeah, man, I think that was a great top 10. I'm going to subscribe to this dude. Dude's got AI voice stuff, but whatever. I like it, man. That was a good video. I enjoyed that. Some of the top 10, he's actually carries your E2 list challenge. Definitely. Exactly right. Like, Lappy's been clutch. Ascalon's been clutch. I think Monster's going to be exceptionally useful now because she's actually really good at E1 as well, you know? And I think for me, don't get me wrong, Lappy is going to be much better at E2, but for me, I take that into account. There's some units that are genuinely really useful for me, just purely being good at E1, right? So, agree. Yeah, I like that one. Okay, we've done that one. Shall we do, Super? Census. Didn't mean it like that. Didn't mean it like that. We're not going to do Super. We're going to watch Super. Okay? Let me just reiterate. We're not going to do Super. We're going to watch Super. Right, and let's check this one out. This is one people have been asking me to watch for a few days, actually. The worst operator for every class. In-depth analysis for Arknights from the most hated Arknights creator. We love him. Let's see what he's got to say about this. in Italian. Let's go.
This video is sponsored by you. Links for the channel are in the description. Hello there, Arknights most hated YouTuber here. Once again being quite confused at all those other videos from other YouTubers outside the Arknights space. Being like, oh, you guys know me. I like being positive. I don't like making negative videos. It's not the vibe I want on my channel. Fuck you. I love being a hater.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with being a hater, man. Sometimes you just gotta get it off your chest, right? You know? Like, man, I'm here for it. You know, sometimes you just gotta vent. And you guys see it all the time. I call myself the woo hater because I just have to let it off my chest sometimes. I haven't quite got there with Arknights, but maybe one day.
It gives me youth. So today we are discussing the worst 6-star operator in each class. Yes, the title and the thumbnail.
Bro feels renewed when he gets that hate off his chest. It's like a cleansing action for him. Okay, I respect it.
Are technically misleading. This is because if I actually included every operator in the game, this entire list would just be 2 stars, 1 stars, and Frostleaf. We begin with casters.
Okay.
Some operators in this video are here through a process of elimination, where they just happen to be the least good of their class. Others on this list, however, literally do not function as operators in this game on a basic level, and are fundamentally broken.
I love to see the gummy gameplay.
Carnelian is the latter. She's not just the worst 6-star caster, she is the worst 6-star in general. Operators like her and Liberator guards function on a very simple concept. They do nothing for a while to then pop off with a big payoff. Not just that, but they don't truly do nothing while they charge. Angelina has global healing. Lin nullifies damage below a certain threshold. Beeswax is an insane tank, and Winner attracts aggro and reflects damage. So, operators like this to function are composed of 2 parts, the big payout and utility as they charge.
Fair.
Carnelian is lacking both.
Is this true? Is this true? Is she just shit at both?
I cannot stress this enough, that during her outrageously long charge times, she truly, absolutely does not do anything. She is quite possibly the only operator in the game, beside Windscoot, that does not do anything. Nothing. Nada. Everyone else, even Mint, do something while charging. Carnelian uniquely does not. But then you activate her, and she does so little, she might as well still be doing nothing. Her DPS and total damage are comparable to Tequila, the 5-star Liberator.
Oh shit.
And even then, it's back-ended, meaning it needs to ramp up, making it just a tad more unreliable. When it comes to tanking, she's also abysmal dogshit.
Hey yo, this goes back to what I was saying before, in regards to consistency sometimes, right? You know? I'm not saying this unit is that, because it's not, but like, you know, sometimes having a unit that can hit higher peaks but not consistently do it. Sometimes consistency is a beautiful thing in games, right?
So you can't even cope that she can at least be a baseline tank. She regains HP when skills are activated, but due to the Phalanx caster trait, it means she will immediately lose all the HP she just gained.
Oh shit,
Carnelian truly and absolutely does not function as an operator in its most baseline requirements. As for guards, it was actually really close. Chen, the one without the ridiculous name, is immediately out of the competition due to the arcade.
The designs are peak and skins are exceptional gameplay. I'd say they're balancing it out right. They're like, damn, we need to cook somewhere else, man, because we did not cook in the design in terms of kit. Okay.
IS module, rendering offensive recovery a genuine niche in IS. Lessing also can dish out some pretty okay damage, and on paper he has a niche against abnormal statuses. This means it was between Helagur and Pallas. I talked about it in my Discord server, which you should join by the way, link in the description, and I went in-game to run some tests of my own. In the end, I feel it's a pretty clear-cut answer. Helagur is a geriatric old man, and believe you me, he surely feels like it in gameplay. I put them both against Bishop Quintus, which is kind of just a huge HP sponge, and Helagur took around twice the time it took Pallas to kill it, while being deployed last and having no healing, meaning he could make use of his talent. Plus, skill 2 has a
I need to look at that. What's the talent?
Pallas to kill it, while being deployed last and having no healing, meaning he could make use.
Attributes increased HP plus 250, attack plus 90, wax immune improved, gains up to plus 130 attack speed, tenacity reaches maximum bonus when losing 50% max HP. Okay, so without the healing, you're gaining that. Okay, alright.
Use of his talent.
So
plus,
even with that,
skill 2 has a pretty bad uptime at just 34%, and relies on RNG to dodge as his only self-sustain. Plus, he can't use medics. This is important. It means he doesn't have access to a lot of utility, mainly Monster Skill 2 and Lumen Skill 3. Helagur doesn't really have any survivability to speak of, unlike Zuole. This means that for him to shine, you need the extremely specific circumstance of enemies that can beat his ass to trigger his talent, but not quite hard enough to actually kill him.
Yeah, okay.
He shines in one very specific situation, and you kinda need to go out of your way to make it happen, while otherwise being extremely underwhelming. For the medic class, the choice is...
Yeah, that's not like... Because, like, obviously some units can be like that, and that can be, like, indicative of other games as well, you know, where you can have a unit that can be, or a character, or whatever the fuck you want to call it in a game, can be useful, but it's such a specific situation to really make them useful that it's just not worth it. And then couple it sometimes with the fact that it's, like, it's an underwhelming utility or usefulness. When it is in that specific situation, it's just at that point, it's just like, yeah, whatever, it's just not worth it, right?
Really obvious, it's shining. In fact, out of every 6-star medic, she's the only one I would call bad. Every single other one is actually really good.
Hey, boys! It's the stage.
The one big issue with Shining is her gimmick. She's the physical damage counterpart to
Attack plus 50%, all allies within range, defense plus 100%.
Nightingale. They are meant to mitigate huge amounts of their respective damage types. However, whereas Art's damage is a percentage reduction, meaning that Nightingale increasing resistance by 15 is a 15% damage reduction in all circumstances.
Is this what he's showing this gameplay? I'm pretty sure I had comments like this on my JT83 clear that I'm sure some people mentioned Nightingale. They were like, clearing JT83 without Nightingale as well, E1s is a decent thing to do. I'm assuming then that this unit's useful for that then, right? I'd never seen this unit until now, I'm not gonna lie.
Physical is a simple subtraction. Enemy attack minus operator defense gives you the final damage. This means that in the situations Shining is meant...
Yeah, there is in the outside, yeah.
to be used, those being huge amounts of physical damage, it is likely that physical damage will be enough to outpace Shining's healing. In other words, for...
Yeah, because I remember when, like, people was coming into my stream when I was doing it, like, people who weren't, I guess, didn't know my account and stuff were coming in like, oh, man, you should build, like, Nightingale and something like that. I ain't got Nightingale. So, now I know what Nightingale does, okay.
The vast majority of circumstances, it's just better to use a raw HPS healer like Sussurro or any alter. Shining is left in this weird middle ground, where the physical damage needs to be high enough, where an HPS healer can't help, but also not quite high enough to just ignore her skill tree. It's the same problem as Helagur. Besides, Haruka's skill tree is in the game now, which is literally just Nightingale skill tree, but that also applies to physical damage, completely and utterly removing any tiny little resemblance of a niche Shining might have had. Snipers are also an easy choice. Sure, there's some stinkers in here, like Rosmontis anywhere outside of IS-5, Schwartz, which got power crept into super hell, or the original W, which kinda doesn't do anything.
Was that a League gameplay there that I saw? Yeah, I really want Rosmontis, man. I just like, after her being in the story, she's such a cool character. I just wanna.
But only one 6-star sniper has the luxury of joining the exclusive club of operators who do not function on a fundamental level.
Oh, really, Red?
And that's Fartooth. Here's the thing. Anyway, regarding Fartooth, the issue is that...
Okay, alright, I like that. Okay. Respect to the editing.
Infinite expand dong straight line range on skill tree is a cool concept on paper, but in practice, due to how she actually works, she needs to make use of that extra range to get access to her damage.
Dad joke.
Which means you need a stage.
I love a good dad joke, man. I love a good dad joke.
That is very wide or very long, with a ranged tile in a useful position to hit important enemies.
Anyone else got the same problem? What, audio's low? Is it? It shouldn't be, hopefully. I can't really turn the video up much more. I can turn it up a little bit, but hopefully it shouldn't be too low.
In other words, a solid 90% of stages in this game literally do not have a functioning tile for Fartooth skill tree. She also has skill 2, but it's really lackluster. It has poor skill cycles, relies on other operators, and doesn't actually increase her damage, just her attack speed.
Okay.
Besides, her infinite range gimmick in a straight line sounds cool at first, until you realize that global range is literally just that, but in every line. So even in the 1 in 10 stages...
I'm not gonna lie, man. Like, that's one of the big things that I'm like, like, obviously, I wanna do the entire story E1. I do, right? But there's like E2 Serta, E2 Ewan, Lapland Ulta. I'm just, oh, bro, I just want an E2 for that. I just want an E2 for that alone, you know what I mean?
Where her skill tree is allowed to function, she gets mogged by Golden Glow and Lapland Alter. Another issue with Fartooth is that her gimmick is damage per hit rather than damage per second. This means she doesn't synergize super well with attack speed buffs, and not just that, the damage per hit isn't all that great. very often it
Remember, Pig says he wants
can
eating me
one-shot
neither.
very basic mobs. In the end,
Give in to
you are
temptation.
left with an extremely underwhelming sniper whose skill tree does not even have a functioning tile on most maps in the game. Specialists were a tough one. A lot of you, the ignorant swines, may immediately point to Crown Slayer, and sure, maybe once upon a time, but not anymore.
Bro, aren't these skills so fucking anime? It just looks so fucking good.
Her new module actually makes her pretty good. The other specialists...
And again, I guess this is a little bit off topic, but well, it's not because it's specific to what he's just said there. That's, again, as somebody who hasn't interacted with the module system because I'm E1, the module system in itself is a really good way to, like, bring characters up to speed again, right? I don't think, and I get why they don't. Why would you invest in creating stuff for older units when you can just make new units more desirable and give them gear that makes them better? But, you know, I like that. I like that. I wish more games did that. That's one thing I've got to give props to ZZZ for, of them, you know, again, they're doing it with Sambi this time, right? Getting a buff, making them, trying to bring them up to speed a little bit. Now, I don't know how much it will improve her, but I like that. I like it when, it's why I think support units are always useful, especially in other games, because you can bring a good support unit in and it can bring older units back up to speed, can't it? So, like, yeah, the module system's good in that sense, right?
Are actually either alright, or good, or downright meta. All of them have a niche. Some of them are underwhelming, like Zwire and Leah, but none are bad per se. Ultimately, it was between Ak and Phantom, and I chose Ak. His issue is much the same as Phantom, that being that due to new releases, he just has no place in the meta anymore.
Okay.
Anything he does, someone...
I really like Monster, man. I'm glazing enough, man. I can't glaze her enough, man. Like, such a fucking cool unit.
Someone else does better. The difference between him and Phantom, however, is that you could, if you wanted, use Phantom alongside Texas and Yato. As for Ak, you never really use multiple buffers, do you? Even in CC, you usually only use one buffer, if any, or one buffer paired with one debuffer.
Okay.
There is two camps of buffing, attack and attack speed. Attack can fall flat on certain units due to some additive, multiplicative things that my small brain doesn't fully comprehend, but you can just plainly see it with your eyes that it doesn't do much on operators like Sutra and synergizes very well with others like Rei. Attack speed is more beneficial on a wider range of units.
Okay, I was just thinking that then, that in my head I was like, obviously you got attack and attack speed, right? In essence, in a sense, when you break it down to like a fundamental thing, well, you're like, it's kind of a similar thing, right? You know, you're increasing your attack, individual attack, you're increasing your attack speed is making your attack speed go up, which is the overall is increasing your attack as well, right? And just wondering that, which is beneficial to more units, and I guess, is this true then, that that's probably the way? Because in my head I was thinking that attack speed probably would benefit a little bit more. Okay.
So, unfortunately for Ak, Warfarin is way better when it comes to attack buffs, and trans representation monster exists now, which
Okay, whatever.
is the queen of attack speed buffs, and in general the best stat buff in the game. This leaves Ak with no place left in the ecosystem of the game.
Defense attack can help an operator overcome high defense. Depends on their skill. It's is it instant damage or duration type? Attack speed for more hits. Yeah. It's basically it's increasing your DPS in a sense, isn't it? Your damage per second, your attacks are going up. So you, in a sense, it's a you know, like say you break it down, like theoretically the same thing's happening. Attack is going up. It's just you're getting there in two different ways, isn't it? Honestly, I think Lee's worse than Ark. Some would say Ark bad because team kill. I was going to say, don't show Ark in front of some people because I might call you a psychopath. You know? Probably never played a team sport in your life. You know? I don't think you've got any friends if you use Ark. Just saying.
He's not the best buffer for anyone, really, anymore. Besides, due to the upfront damage tax they have to pay, he cannot buff everyone, while the other two simply do not have any such restriction. Magellan is the worst supporter and there is no competition. I don't want to hear it. Because you watched a Magellan solo 4 years ago, that doesn't mean she's good. There is a
Quick pause. Does Super edit his own videos himself, or does he have an editor? Because obviously he gets enough views that he could probably get an editor on board. Maybe. Obviously, I don't know his financial situation, but the editing is really good on Super's videos. If he does do it himself, shout out to you, Superman. You're doing a good job.
He's on those videos are so old. She has more issues than a Hello Kitty girl, and this is probably the longest section in the video. Let me state this once more. The main issue with the summoner archetype is very simple. The summons take up deployment slots. This means that said summons are in direct competition with literally every single other operator that could take that deployment slot instead. Unless you are using Ling or Raidian, the summon will never win that competition. Some modules make it so the first summon does not take deployment slots to mitigate this, but a singular free summon in a team of regular operators has about as much impact on the team as an empty squad slot. So, because of this, in the year of our Lord 2025, there is 2 reasons to use a summoner. To trust farm and to make a cool clear video. For the videos, nobody watches those, be for real.
I was going to say, that's, you know, because obviously some stages I've cleared, and then people have been like, oh, check out some of the clears. And I'm like, damn, nobody really does watch the clear videos, right? Which, for a game like Arknights, I would have thought there'd be a lot higher. Now, does it just mean that the Arknights community is bigger brained? I don't know, because, you know, I see a lot of people talking about that they've watched videos to learn clears, and that's one thing we're doing on this channel, and I'm hoping I can continue it for as long as possible, that we don't watch any clears until we've cleared a stage. But, like, I'll look at, like, you know, like when we went through some of the JT 8.3 stuff, the R8.8 stuff, and I'm just like, how does this not have more views? Because, one, it's incredibly impressive, and two, this stage wasn't easy, so you just think there'd be people searching for it just to attempt to get past it. Maybe it's indicative of, I don't know, big brain community. I don't know.
Trust farms Ling, Raidian, and Eblana.
I've seen some of the stuff from the community though, so I don't think it is the big brain. Just saying.
Are so much better.
God loves you, chat. God loves you.
Not just that, but Magellan is also a victim of early
niche clears and niche. True. But even just like hard stages, you know what I mean? Less so the actual niche clears themselves, but just some of the hard stages. Like, I expected them to have more clears. But I suppose, again, this is coming from, I suppose, a unique way of the way I'm doing things is I'm getting these clears sent to me from you guys, and typically you guys probably are looking for more impressive niche clears, aren't you? Because you're like, dude, let me just show you what a fucking really good player did. So I suppose that factors into it. So that's a good point, actually, where, like, if it was just, this is how you clear this stage, easiest way to clear it, probably has more views than how you clear this really hard stage with fucking one tile, or, like, you know, a bunch of fucking 4 stars, or you know what I mean? So yeah, I guess that kind of makes some sense.
Operator design. She has pointless restrictions that do nothing but gimp her. Namely, the fact that her summon
people watch more in the form of guys, not ones that don't. Yeah, true. Yeah, these are all good points, chat. Fairs.
vanish off to the fucking Shadow Realm when the skills end. But okay, let's say you are a funky fellow and you do use summoners in a normal gameplay. You will find out 3 things. 1. Her skill 1 is actually pretty okay. The stall is actually alright. However, like 99% of crowd control operators in this game, she runs into the same wall, which is the simple question, why the fuck wouldn't you use Ethan instead? A free 4-star that does the same thing, but way better. 2. Magellan's drones barely deal damage. 3. If you feel like using a summoner, Raidian, a free 6-star that will come with IS-6, exists.
When we're talking about unique weapons, I know these are not necessarily our weapons, but technically are. Like, bro, look at the stick man guns, hands and guns, like fish with guns, playing with guns, like, I love it.
And is around 10 times better. The issue with summoners is that you need to justify bringing a summoner, and then you need to justify deploying a summon instead of a normal operator. In normal gameplay, there is simply no way to ever justify using Magellan. For everything her drones can do, an actual operator does better. And for trust farms, there is
yeah, it's a good point, really. Like, and if you're losing slots anyway, it's like, it's not like you can be like, well, you know, I'm using less ops. It's like, yeah.
better dedicated trust farm operators. And
FY Radiant's inspiration is the pigeon with the hands drawn. Really? That's cool, that is. Yeah, like look at this shit, man. Like, this is fucking cool, right? Very first time I seen this, it had me chuckling.
If you just feel like using a summoner for some reason, Raidian exists, who is freer, more comfortable, and stronger. Magellan discussion is uniquely frustrating. In the early days, she gained a reputation as a very strong operator who could solo stages on her own, but had a steep learning curve. You had to prove yourself to enter the Temple of the Penguin. This made her the premium, elitist, pinky-out choice, and in fact, even today, when you point out the obvious, gigantic, glaring flaws with Magellan, and that she is completely worthless for 99% of play.
One thing I will say, though, right, is the attack animation's pretty cool as well. Taking the photo, right? That's pretty cool. I quite like that. It's quite unique. I like that. Because I you know, it's nice to appreciate little things like that in this game. Because obviously they being chibi characters, those little you know, little animations sometimes are really pleasing on the eye.
Yes, you're gonna get hit with the skill issue. Clearly, you are not an enlightened Arknights player who enjoys the game beyond the gacha aspects like me. Rather, you are a brute who uses the meta 6 stars without realizing they are products to be sold. Ho ho ho! Clearly, you haven't hit up the Magellan dojo to train, you absolute barbarian. Moving on, before I get an actual aneurysm, there is only one real candidate for the worst 6-star defender.
Okay.
The thing with defenders is that, by and large, they are all alright. Baseline, if you pick a defender, you want them to take a bunch of hits and
I'm just looking at the squads here. I'm just looking at the squads.
Block 3, and almost every single defender achieves this function. So almost all of them are alright units.
I'll say obviously I haven't used most of them, but for the ones that I've used, most of them really are like, you know, does what it says on the tin, right? You know?
Or better. Almost, because Eunectis exists. Duelist defenders are the single worst archetype in the game. In function, they are just an overly expensive and shitty dreadnought guard.
YouTube crashed on me. Sorry. Stream's still up. Stream's still up. Yeah. Yeah, I think it is. Yeah, okay. HB, very high, average low. I'm gonna go back because we had the...
Almost, because Eunectis exists. Duelist defenders...
Redeployment time 70 seconds, defense average high, attack very high, HP very high. Wait. What came one?
Are the single worst archetype in the game. In function, they are just an overly expensive and shitty dreadnought guard, who itself is a quite mediocre and underused.
I didn't know they only had a one block count. What's the cost as well then? Like what we're talking, like high 20s or something?
The archetype. Not just that, but duelists have an horrendously bad trait of only being able to gain SP when blocking. As I said in previous videos, Arknights is a skill game. You do not use operators for their basic attacks, you bring them for the skills. Therefore, things that give you easier access to skills are some of the best things in the game.
Well, that's fair, right? Obviously some have better basics than others, but I mean that's pretty fair, man.
In the same token, actively hampering your own ability to access your own skills is the single most disastrous thing you can do to yourself in this game. To balance this, duelists have a very high attack stat. However, this actually ended up harming them even more, because by having
they're not really ever really blocking
a high attack stat, they will kill whatever they are blocking sooner, and thus
kind of antithetical to the design in a sense. That right? Yeah, you get bonus when blocking, but what? Nah, we don't even do that.
Get less SP from it. And yes, even Hypergryph realized this is an issue, as Aurora, the duelist defender after Eunectis, literally does not attack until she gets a certain amount of SP. And about this, it doesn't really matter to the video, but I want to mention it. Eunectis is, as far as I know, the only operator in the game with an outright negative module.
Is this true?
That being her module Y, which does nothing but increase her attack even further, so she has even more trouble getting SP. I understand that this is a module meant for skill 1, but still. Eunectis is clunky, shitty.
That's unusual then, right? Because that's like a post-choice design as well, right? That's a weird one.
Awkward, finicky, and once you get through everything and charge...
To be fair though, you can't always post W's right, you know? She's charging SP for her as a truck. Yeah, it seems like a weird module to come up with that like kind of just exacerbates that issue, right?
Her skill, it's not even all that good compared to newer operators in year 6 and 7 who have better, more powerful skills without the not grating hassle Eunectis offers. So you have a shitty dreadnought with the worst trait in the game, with clunky skills to use, which once used are not even comparable to everything else around them. Finally, for our final class, we have vanguards.
Okay.
It's a siege. Vigil is actually kind of alright nowadays. Skill 3 has solid damage and synergizes very well with buffs, and his skill 1 is used pretty often for stalling. Meanwhile, Siege generally has nothing. The Throne of Victoria is like the most gigantic cope I've ever seen. Her one...
Hey, let's calm down on any slander regarding Victoria now. Come on now. Come on now.
Niche, that of being an early game lane holder, as in handling enemies at the start of the stage for a cheap cost, was completely erased and lost to the sands of time when Myrtle came out 6 fucking years ago. And then she just kept getting power crept over and over, to the point I can only assume someone at Hypergryph actually just hates her. She's a weak operator who barely makes any DP.
What's in her mouth? Is that bubblegum? Like, what's the deal in her mouth?
Only vanguard in the game with a skill that does not make DP and does not help making DP in any way. She has no real use case
Okay, interesting.
or niche to speak of. She does nothing, she is nothing, she has no place in the ecosystem of the game,
Lollipop.
and her artworks are kinda ugly.
I don't know about Hypergryph, mate. You know, fucking Super definitely does. Not gonna lie though, I remember when we was going through like drip nights and stuff. Yeah. Hate to say. Damn, bro's got some slander.
That's all, Max Origami, bye.
Bro was not letting up there. Jeez. Okay, all right. Yeah, great video as always, man. Super makes great videos. Again, I'd love to know, because Super does pop into chat sometimes and does watch the videos. If you do watch these, or you are in chat, or whatever, or if this gets relayed, Super, do you edit your videos yourself, bro? Because, yeah, man, you do a really fucking good job of it, man. Your editing's on point, dude. Or you've got an editor. Either way, fire editing. Guys, if you haven't, go check out Super. Everybody in chat knows Super, and if you don't, then you should get to know. I think he makes some great content, man. I really like his videos. His comedic timing's on point as well. Great video. Show some love. It was a good one. I think Super just rage baiting. Attacking the drippies wild. Yeah, it was a good one though. That was a good one. Alright guys, share it to everyone in chat. Appreciate you. If you haven't already, drop a like on the stream. It's much appreciated. So we've got the Predatory Gacha Monetization Tactics videos I want to check out as well. We've got the most promising upcoming gacha games of 2025-26. Are you guys interested in that one? Would you guys be interested in that one? Let me just have a look if you guys put anything interesting in the React Smasher. What's this here? Oh, is this the Pulsar High Malpro? That's from Death Stranding, right? Yeah, you got to respect the bro. You got to respect Kojima though, right? Or Kojima, however you want to say it. Dude is a big man in the game. White Knuckle, the Abyss release date trailer. Favorite game of the year? What the fuck's this? Okay, it's just like a boomer shooter. Okay, it's not a shooter then. So is it just like a platformer? Okay. Hardcore platformer. Bro, I've got so much brain rot. I saw that lemur there, and I just instantly saw Ligma. Like, bro, I've got brain rot, man. Straight up. Is it VR? Don't think so. I think those hands kind of make it look like potentially. Maybe. I don't know. I don't think so, right? Is he? I don't know. I don't think it is. Looking at the camera, the way the camera moves, it doesn't look like VR. I think it's just those hands, you know, the disembodied hands, like. Okay, yeah, looks alright. Art style looks cool. It's probably not my sort of game, if I'm honest. I'm not. These sort of games don't really float my boat, if you know what I mean. But the art style looks cool. Visually, it looks good. What's this here? It's AI voice, so using YouTube's AI translate yourself spot on. English is spot on. This is a video showing Enfield's booth at TGS, an actual video instead of pictures. Right, let's have a quick look.
In this video.
9月25日から幕張メッセで開催された TGS2025 に招待インフルエンサー枠として参加できるとのことで行ってきました。去年、こちらが私有ブース。私有ブースは PS5 版と PC 版の2つが存在し、PS5 版をプレイしてから PC しているので、落ち着いての撮影が難しく、画面がブレたり、高さが急に変わったりしているので、画面酔いにはご注意を。ブースの通路側真正面には修正工業の展示。去年は小さなミニチュアだけだったので、随分と大きくなりました。
Looks too much VR. Any more vertical movement and shit will probably be nauseous. Fair, yeah. Booth looks good though, right?
こちらが私有ブース。私有ブースは PS5 版と PC 版の2つが存在し、PS5 版
Oh, this is where all my pulls are going.
をプレイしてから PC 版をプレイするという流れ。なお、PC 版のプレイに関しては、口述する理由もあって断ることも可能でした。ブースの裏側はこんな感じ。
Decline the PC version. And they actually are running on PS5 as well. Okay, because sometimes when you go to these things, yeah, like when I've been to Eurogamer a few times, it'll be like, you know, it might even be an exclusive. Like, I can't remember which Xbox game it was now. It was like, it was an Xbox game. And you were playing with the pad, but like there was no system then. And the wire just went into the and then like in between the systems as I went past, the door was on. It was just all running on PC. So you can actually, it is actually natively running on PS5s. Bro, just imagine if you got up and knocked one of them PSs off. Interesting cases. What cases are those, man? Yeah, I don't like those. Those cases are ugly.
裏にはエンドフィールドのグッズが展示されていました。こちらは後ほど写真で紹介します。そしてビジネスデイは主にプレスやインフルエンサー向けの受付、一般日はスロットの景品を受け取ることができる受付としても機能していました。なお、スロットはビジネスデイは前に看板が設置され、使用することはできませんでした。そして修正工業の横にはステージ、こちらではスペシャルステージや公式コスプレイヤーの撮影などが行われていました。
Cosplayers look great, don't they?
Oh
man, I can't wait, man.
Can't wait.
Look at the AIC, man. Yeah, they got little like laser lights to make it look like it's connected up. Yeah, that's cool.
修正工業のベルトをズームするとこんな感じ。 おそらくはベルトコンベアに磁石がつけ
You
ら
know,
れ
when I first saw these, I thought this was all just like, it was like a fixed thing, right? See, it's took a little bit of damage there. I thought, but these actually are like boxes on there because they got, one fell off at one point, didn't it? It's actually got bottleneck IRL, which is actually kind of crazy.
それに引っ張られてコンテナも動くという形。
You can tell the others have been packed up and used quite a lot, right? Some of them are quite scuffed up and
真
knocked
正
about.
面から見るとこんな感じ。強薬コアの上あたりにはスモークとレーザーで電線が表現されており、ゲーム内と同じく無線
Ah, okay, so that's why that smokes, once it was blowing up there, to give the lasers the,
送電されているような
cable
表
look,
現がな
isn't
され
it?
ていました。修正工業の横で流れていたデジタルサイネージ。
You thought there were rumors. Them tatties. I really want to go to TGS, man. I'd love to be able to try and go next year.
一般日のみ稼働していたスロットマシーン。3回
TGS isn't open to the public, Expo, yeah. You just buy a ticket and you go, right? It's not like it's a, you know, because it seemed like lots of YouTubers were going who were like, you know, small and big. So I'm pretty sure it's just straight open to the, it's not like how E3 used to be back in the day, right? When it was just like an invite only kind of thing, right?
だけ回すことができ、最初に揃った絵柄に応じてグッズがもらえるというものでした。個人的にはとりあえず動画の撮影さえできれば良いや程度に思っていたので、まさかオールが当たるとは思ってもいませんでした。ちなみにもらえたものがこちら、ペリカのマウスパッドやクリアファイル、シャカシャカキーホルダー、色紙カードでした。受付のさらに横で展示されていたグッズを紹介。グッズに関しては日本ではまだ販売されていませんが、海外では購入が可能だったものが大半を占めていました。一つ目は管理人の通行証。記念ガイドブック、こちらはブースで配布されていました。AR 直紙、こちらは女性管理人と男性管理人の2つがありましたが、男性管理人の色紙は取った時には、なぜか変な方向を向いていたので取ることができず、ペリカをモチーフにしたストラップぬいぐるみ。
That's actually a well-made little plush, actually. Stitching's decent. Okay.
同じくチェーンをモチーフにしたストラップぬいぐるみ。
Because sometimes, like, a lot of merch plushies, right? They look like they're characters, but they're fucking trash. Like, for some games, they're really badly made. These actually look quite good. They're well made.
管理人をモチーフにしたうさぬい。同じくペリカをモチーフにしたうさぬい。レンチキュラーウチは、こちらはブースでエンドフィールドの X アカウントをフォローしていればもらうことができました。ショッパー、こちらもブースで無料配布していました。そして最後にペリカクッション、こちらだけは非売品だったはずです。私有に関しては先ほども述べた通り、PS5 版と PC 版の2つが可能で、PS5 版は最新のバージョンで今回の 3GS が初出。一方の PC 版は今年の1月に開催されたベータテストにワープやマップ移動ができない制限を加えたものとなっていました。そのため PC 版の
Okay, wait there. What did you say there? PC version is a version of the beta test held in January this year that had restrictions such as not being able to walk or move around the map. Okay. Is the boss not? Is it exactly the same version? Is the boss not available in that version, the PC version then?
そのため PC 版の私有
Therefore, it's possible to decline try at the PC version. The number of units available is slightly less than of the PS5.
は断ることも可能で、さらに台数も PS5 と比べると
Hypergryph. I'm worrying about nothing. I
少し
was going to say, please don't ignore us on PC.
ない数となっていました。YouTube に
Obviously, there's no reason to think that, right? I'm just saying. Obviously, it's Japan. Makes sense. It's showing off the console, the PS5. It's the new thing. I get it. I'm just like, you know.
公開されていたプロローグは英語版に日本語字幕をつけたものでしたが、私有できたものは日本語版でボイスもあり、ここだけ見れば正式版に近い形。ただ、日本語版であるということ以外は、特に公開されたものとの違いはありませんでした。
I'd be interested in that. If the PC version had the new boss, you know?
されていた映像では特に触れられていなかった語彙周りのテキストはこんな感じ。
PC version is probably just to show off the game beyond the prologue. Yeah, maybe. True, that's a good point, actually. Maybe. It's running smooth, right? So looking at the stamina bar now, it really looks like it is the same, right? It doesn't look like we've got extra stamina, right? It's like looking at that stamina bar, it works out to probably like 3 segments that we had before, because it's like 1 now, right?
そして今回初お披露目となったエアーイグニス戦。エアーイグニスに関しては攻撃は苛烈なものでしたが、こちらの HP が0になることはないため、絶対にゲームオーバーにはならない仕様。また、キャラクターの切り替えもできないようになっていました。
She's no Amiya, right, but I really like Pearlica.
戦闘システムはベース自体は前回のベータテストと同じではあるものの、ところどころに変更が加えられており、以前の回避はダッシュの延長線上のような動作でしたが、ジャスト回避を行った際は特定のモーションが表示され、バックステップが差し込まれるようになりました。また、左
Looking at this here as well, have the damage numbers changed somewhat?
下のキャラアイコンには新たに白いゲージが追加されており、この白いゲージの状態によって連携技の発動が可能かが確認できるようになっています。さらに以前は通常攻撃を連続で繰り出さなければ最後の一撃である集客を繰り出すことができないというあまりにも発動条件が難しいものとなっていましたが、今回は途中で回避などを挟んでもコンボが途切れることはなくなり、より高い頻
To be fair, you know, going down to that dodge thing, I was cool. That's the thing I wanted anyway. I think a lot of people wanted that, the dodge not interrupting your chain of attacks for your final blow, because it did seem a little bit counterintuitive. And I know the idea was that, like, oh, you know, it's going to make other archetypes potentially more consequential in what they do, but I do think that was a good design choice, right? Not getting into the whole dodge thing again, but I do.
集客を行うことが可能になっていました。投稿者は初めて触るゲームではコントローラーを目視しなければまともに操作できないほどのコントローラー音痴なので、エアーイグニスの拳の前で棒立ちしているなどの不自然な挙動が見られますが、それを差し置いても最新バージョンである PS5 版をプレイした後にベータバージョンの PC 版をプレイすると PC 版はもっさりしていたんだなと感じたほどでした。
PC version was sluggish. That's not good. Is it an older build though?
に今回は操作できませんでしたが、特にレーバティーンは大規模にリワークされており、
we were saying this,
映像内での挙動は全くの別物と言えるほどになっていました。まあ、ベータテスト版のレーバティーンは前に出る必要があるオペレーターなのにもかかわらず、全体的に脆いというあべこべな性能となっていたので、この辺りは妥当でしょう。
more movement to her stuff, yeah.
個人的にはアークナイツ最大の問題と言っても過言ではない読みがわからない点も新たに追加されたっぽいルビ振り機能で改善されてそうなのが嬉しい限りです。
The Ruby annotation function. The fuck is that? The fuck is that, chat? It's a Ruby annotation function. I don't understand the context of that. I will say though, am I tripping as well? It looks like the UI down here is sharper, right? Now, I get it. This is probably looks sharper here, but I don't like that. Thanks for the sub, by the way. But, like, this... I don't know. Something looks different about the SP bars and the health bars down here as well. They seem like they stand out a little bit more, don't they? Or am I just tripping? True. Probably, yeah. Probably Apollo. They've got thicker borders. I don't know. It might be that, right? It does look like the stroke around them is a bit more definite. Like, they just seem to be sharper and stand out more. Yeah, is that what it is as an outline? I was going to say that, but I was like, I can't remember if there was one before. It just definitely looks like the standout more. So, okay, they did it before, I believe. Yeah, maybe. It's been so long now, little things like that. It's hard to remember, but...
以上でエンドフィールドのブースのレポートを終わります。ご視聴ありがとうございました。
Yeah, man. Can't wait. Can't wait. Hopefully that's just a situation for the builds out at the expo. Maybe the PC builders are a bit older, but like, you know, I hope the PC version is a you know, an important factor for them, and it doesn't fall behind the console version in an attempt to potentially reach out to what the hope might be a bigger audience. I don't know. I'm kind of worrying for nothing there, though. I think, if I'm honest, I'm worrying for nothing. But yo, guys, if you haven't already, we haven't even hit 50 likes, man. We got 100 people plus in here. Drop a like on the stream. It's very much appreciated. It helps out a lot as well. Let's check. So we've got the Predatory Gacha Game monetization tactics tier list from bad to worse. We've got the most promising upcoming gacha games as well. Should we watch the gacha games tier list bad? Don't be greedy and stupid. No, we got the Predatory Gacha Game monetization tactics tier list from Psyche. Do you want to this Ananta drama video as well? I think I know what that's about though. So, I wonder if you beat the boss, do you get a secret cutscene like over? I was thinking that actually. With the first time I saw that, I'm gonna assume maybe not. But I was thinking if it was kind of like, you know, at the start of Elden Ring or something like that, where like it kind of is. It's not fully scripted, but it's designed in a way that 99% of people will lose or think that it's scripted and just, you know. But like there'll be that 1% of people who'll be like, no, I'm sweating this out and beat it, and they get something different. That would be kind of cool. It looks like though that it might just be fully scripted. We're not gaming today. I want to try and get into some, yeah, but I do definitely want to get some reactions done today. Do I need to get Rosie today? I do, yes, I do. Enfield, after picks E2's 3 more ops. Some moment pick started playing the game, the viewers drop. Yeah, oh, straight up, bro, straight up. I don't mind, though. I don't mind. I honestly don't mind. But I did want to get some reacts in today, because we locked in yesterday. We're going to lock in tomorrow as well. All right, let's watch this one then. Chat.
It's always been a business.
All right, let's get into it then. Let me pause this. We have... not a love-hate relationship with Psyche's videos. Some of them, though, you know, are better than others, but we can't always post W's, right? But I think he makes good content, and I'm curious about this one. This one's done numbers. Predatory Gacha Game monetization tactics tier list from bad to worse, which I think's fair from bad to worse, because, you know, it's hard to say there's a good monetization system, right? I think we just have, you know, lesser versions of a pretty crappy system, right? All right, let's check this one out then, guys. We're going to give it a preemptive like. Let's see what he's got to say here about the Predatory Gacha monetization systems and who is going to be at the worst end of things and who's going to be at the not so bad end, I guess.
MiHoYo is not your friend.
What?
Kuro Games is not your friend.
Oh my God. Lies. Solon says he loves me. This is lies, actually. All right, this is a bad video. Solon says he loves me. He said it. You've seen it. He said he loves me. He's definitely my friend, man. Not taking this.
Hypergryph is not
Slander.
your friend. Project Moon
Chat.
is not your friend. Gaming is a business. It has always been
We need to crash out, chat. We need to crash out, chat. This is disgusting. Disgusting.
a business. Ever since the birth of arcades all the way to the rise of mobile gaming, companies have always used gaming as a medium for artistic expression as well as profit. While there are, in my opinion, honorable ways to monetize a game, there are also some not so honorable ways. Gacha games, and by extension mobile games, have had a decade of growth at
I don't think honourable would be the term I would use personally, but I think there's fair, right? I think fair ways. I suppose you could argue it's honourable. We're getting into semantics here. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, for a long time, man, gaming's a business through and through. It's always been a business, right? There was one period of time where you were gaming, and of course it was a business, and you'd be naive not to think so, but it didn't feel like it. And for me, that was PS1, PS2 era, and maybe the start of the PS3 era, and then like the business model was front and foremost, right? You couldn't even hide from it. You know, very few games now do you feel like, you know, the business model doesn't permeate through the entire game. Of course, it's all a business, but you know what I mean? It's front and center, right?
this point, with some even rivaling the quality of what you'd see on a console platform. At the same time, the tactics in which these games employ to ultimately retain and monetize you as a user have also been tried and perfected.
Yep.
From reinforcing habit formation.
These guys spend a lot of freaking money on psychologists to understand how we tick and to exploit that as much as possible, right? I've spoke about this before when it comes to it's easier for some games to go from being a gacha game to just being a live service game, right? Now, a live service game employs some of the same tactics, but just in a different way, because once you stop being a gacha game, in essence, to succeed outside the gacha space, you kind of have to redesign the way things work, because all the systems are designed to push you towards the inevitable thing of pulling on a character. However obvious they are, they're there, right? In the systems of just things from the daily logins, the little things you have to chase, the way you build a character, the way you clear content, the way you farm content. It's all designed in a way to soften your brain into thinking in a particular kind of way. So when it comes to actually getting characters, you're more likely to pull them. The little bundles, the little bits of currency here and there, sometimes giving you just enough to nearly get a character, but not quite over the line. You know, that you're like, well, I may as well just spend to get past that little bit. You get those cheap little bundles that are enough to make you think, well, it's only $2.99, and then once you've spent, you're a lot more likely to continue spending, aren't you?
With daily logins, to proprietary currency obfuscating the cost of in-game items, to fear of missing out elements creating artificial
FOMO,
urgency.
massive.
Today, I want to go over every single technique I've found over the years I've played gacha games, how they psychologically affect you, and more importantly, how you can avoid them. I'm going to be coming up with a list of 3 tiers of what I believe to be the practices ranked from least to most predatory. I'll be breaking down what these practices are and place them somewhere on the list. Hopefully, by the end...
Something to keep in mind as well is the content drops have to change. Exactly right. Exactly. Yeah. The pacing, how you do your content, the way you structure your story, the way, as you say, you drop new content. It all has to change, doesn't it? That's why I said to people when people are like, oh, you could just take the gacha rate, man, and the game will be better. I'm like, I don't think you understand sometimes how fundamentally the game would have to change, because all of these systems will kind of be meaningless in a sense. They'll lead you to nothing at the end of the day. You'll be led up the garden path and you'll get there and you'll be like, you know, so yeah, it's not as, it's why it's easier for some games to potentially do, but it still takes a drastic change in how you're approaching the entire post-launch content, right?
In the video, you'll be able to understand exactly how gacha monetization works and how to better moderate yourself as a player.
All right,
so let's begin.
Am I going to be getting you know, some education here? Is Dad going to teach me how to not be a degenerate? Okay.
We can go over the predatory practices. I think it's worthwhile to explain what the gacha model is and what I think of it. Now, I personally enjoy playing gacha games. I think it absolutely still has the potential to create artistry and create a vibrant story and community around it. At its core, gacha games are able to build an ever-growing universe while having the player feeling involved in the plot as it unravels in real time. Alongside the extremely accessible nature of being played on your phone, the barrier of entry is low enough that the game can create a casual...
You know what? I love Snowbreak. I think it's so based.
An inclusive atmosphere where pretty much everyone can get into. I personally got into Fate Grand Order as one of my first gacha games, and its high-quality story was something that kept me awake on the subway back when I was still commuting to university. This would be the best argument I can come up with where I believe the gacha model can be justified. However, reality is often not that simple. In a traditional video game, you pay the upfront fee of $60, then you get the entire game for you to do as you please. You might not get any updates for it, but the game includes the full experience, and the developer has no reason.
Well, I don't know, man. We do have plenty of games, right? I think we're starting to go away from that now, right? Where it's box price, it's live service, and it has lots of post-launch content, right? You know? Destiny, The Division, a myriad of other games, right? Tarkov, obviously that's a little bit different in a sense. Arc Raiders is upcoming, right? That's going to have a box price on it, and I'm sure there's going to be lots of aftermarket purchases. I do think a lot of games are definitely going to the free-to-play live service, but there's been games for years that have had a box price purchase and a live service element after the fact as well, or just a subscription-based system, right?
To place any player retention tactics and further ways to monetize, aside from maybe paid DLCs down the line.
Imagine
when the business model revolves around gacha, the main goals of the developer changes. Because the gacha games are expected to be free to download, there has to be some way to monetize.
Ain't no way you're going to get away with selling a game for 40 quid and then having a character-based gacha. But then again, Call of Duty does it. FIFA's managed to do it, right? You know? They've managed to sell you games and then be like, come on, gamble, kids. And they've made billions from it.
Monetize and retain its users across an indefinite period of time. After all, I've talked about this before, but user retention is extremely important for online businesses.
Yep.
They're often categorized as D1, D7, and D30 retention. This refers to Day 1, Day 7, and Day 30 respectively.
Okay, makes sense, yeah.
According to this Harvard Business article, increasing customer retention rate.
This is facts as well. You know, when you see games that are just like cancelling, you know, when you see a game EOS and you see some games where they might try and attempt to struggle through low revenue, it's probably because they're looking at things like this. They might have a high retention of players but a low spending, and then it's about, right, how do we encourage the spending habits to change? Where if you're having the bottom falls out of your retention, it's hard to bring those players back then, and that's why you might have, differences in, well, why did this game EOS when this game went on for ages and tried to fight the good fight, if you will? Probably things like this, right?
It's by even 5% can increase profits by 25% to 95%.
Holy shit.
I believe there are acceptable ways to retain and monetize users in ways that are morally and ethnically correct.
Did you say ethically or ethnically? Okay. When it comes to monetization in video games, I do think if you're going to have gambling elements, right, I think it is ethically and morally bad to have that advertised and be able to be played by kids. End of the day, it doesn't matter if a game's 18 plus. Kids are going to play it, right? This is old man pick stuff here, right? But, when I see people celebrating that Stellasaurus 9 plus, or I see people in the Wuthering Waves community angry that if it was Hoyo players getting the game, potentially getting its age brought up and that, oh my God, this is bad for the game. Why? Why do you want children to be gambling, right? Now, when it comes down to the systems themselves, now, obviously, you can have the philosophical and moral argument of, like, the systems are designed in a way to extract as much cash from us. And some people are fundamentally much more, I guess, riskier people because they could potentially be, people who have gambling tendencies and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, if you're an adult, you can't put the responsibility on the company. It's your responsibility to spend how you spend right now. Don't deny that they employ a myriad of psychological triggers. Gacha itself is the most predatory form of monetization in video games. But I don't know, like when I think of, like, is it morally bad? I suppose you could argue, yeah. Then I'm like, as an adult, right? The problem is these are aimed at kids, and kids get access to it, don't they? So it's like, you know.
However, what you define as predatory is ultimately subjective. There are things I don't think are predatory, and some that I find extremely so. This will be reflected in the tier list, so let's break it down. The first
Alright, let's
category
go.
will be called mild. These are the practices I think can still be argued as predatory, but I ultimately don't really have a problem if some of them are in the game, which I'll explain
Okay,
why when I get to it. The second tier is what I call the risky category. These are the tactics that were implemented on the conscious decision from the developers that didn't need to be there, and are the very definition of what I think is predatory. Last.
Okay, I like this separation here because you'll have some people who argue that every form of microtransaction shouldn't, and it's a decision, and it shouldn't be there. But these games have to, if they're free, they have to make profit, right? They have to make profit, especially if they're live service games that they're paying for server stuff and updates. They have to make profit. But there is a good distinction there, right, of stuff that's profitable and we'll put them in the green, and then stuff where it's like, hey, this is going to put us really in the green, so let's fucking take the piss. Yeah, that's a good distinction.
There are two items in the deep end tier. These are what I think to be the worst of the
Moose rating went up because Cantarella had a muff out.
worst, and things that I actively campaign against in my reviews that should be minimized
Gacha games
as
with
much
live
as
service or
possible,
predatory by essence, yeah.
and ones that actively hurt my enjoyment of a game. They're quite broad subjects, so I guess you just have to wait and see. This is how I would subjectively categorize predatory practices in gacha games. So let's dive into the list. We'll start off with the mild tier, with something that's pretty harmless if you ask me. Login bonuses and daily missions. These are usually menial tasks that you can knock out in like 5 minutes or less. It's a light way to incentivize regular logins to a game.
Yeah, I think as systems go, it's definitely on the low end. It's designed in a particular way, as I say. I think logins are like that thing. It's all to get your brain working in a particular way. This is the core element of retention, right? It gets you coming back each day, even if there's nothing to do. It gets you coming back just to get those little rewards, right? But again, it's those little rewards that keep you chasing bigger rewards and stuff, right? But this isn't exclusive to gacha. So many games do this now, right? So many games do login bonuses. It's just a normal way of gaming now, isn't it?
By themselves, I don't really have a problem with these. There are cases where the best rewards are locked behind the final days of a login streak, and I think there's absolutely something that can be said about that. Overall, login bonuses are pretty tame. The stamina system is yet another player retention method that's pretty much baked into every gacha game. There are many ways to implement this. Some games might max out your stamina reserve in less than 24 hours to encourage 2 logins in a single day, and some that don't. Regardless of how it's done, the stamina system represents a major source of progression for your account. The daily missions and spending stamina usually are the 2 biggest sources to level up your.
For me, like, I think about stamina, right? And at first, I'm like, it's just fundamentally bad. Being able to overclock or save stamina, whatever the game calls it, I think is a good thing. I think it just depends on how stamina is consumed in a game and what consumes stamina as well. Because I suppose there is an argument to say that it gives you a focus for particular things to do, right? But if everything consumes stamina, then stamina can be a bit of an issue depending on how much options the game gives you to re-up your stamina in game for you know, mat-wise, like unlockables, whatever you want to call them in the game. You know, the thing that tops up your stamina, your energy, whatever it might be. But yeah, yeah, I don't know. I think it all depending on how the game deals with stamina, right? Stamina is there to due to CN law, I believe so. I think it was to limit game time, right? I think it was to limit game time.
Count. They give a ton of player XP relative to all other repeatable activities in the game. This is, of course, habit formation at its finest. You want to progress fast in a gacha game? Simply do your dailies and spend stamina. You can exchange stamina for in-game materials, but obviously...
That's why, not only do you have stamina linked to your stuff, it's usually most games, one of your dailies is spend a set amount of your stamina, right? You know, it's not that the game's just trying to get you to log on to do that. It's encouraging you to also do that with secondary rewards, right?
At a controlled rate.
These are those psychological ting, 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 ting. You know, it's like the mouse being given the cheese every time it does what the scientists want it to do, right? You know? We're like, yes! Another piece of cheese! Thank you, overlords!
Wouldn't it be much more player-friendly to just erase the system and let players farm something for as much as they want? Yes. Yes, it would. When there's a stamina system, right? You don't get to play at your own pace. You get to play at the pace in which the developers let you.
Yeah.
I personally don't have a problem with battle passes and its premium paid track, Battle passes have been normalized in a lot of games across many genres. I'm okay with paid players having accelerated progression through additional activities. In terms of additional purchases, it's in my opinion one of the least insidious ways to monetize and retain users. Alongside daily logins, I mostly don't have a problem with these tactics by themselves.
It all depends on what you get in the Battle Pass as well, though, right? It depends on what you get in the Battle Pass, which depends on its level of insidiousness. Is insidiousness even a word?
There's a very big caveat I'll mention later, but you'll just have to wait and see. You may have noticed that some in-game events have a weird time gate on what portions of the event are unlocked, usually releasing a few levels every few days. What about why is there a weekly cap on how many times you can farm?
Yeah, fuck that shit. Time-gated stuff in events, I'm never usually a big fan of, but it depends on how often you get those time gates. If you can sometimes just spread an event over a little bit longer and it maybe reduces the burnout if it's a chunky event and the game's like, all right, you've done a lot. I guess I'm not to have an issue with that. Yeah, I'm like, you know, like going back, like when I think of like Wuthering Waves and you'd have like, there'd be like 8 challenges and it's really not much there and you like do a set amount and then it's like you've got to wait a certain amount of hours to come back into the next one. A lot of games do it. I'm never really a big fan of that, to be fair. I get why they do it. They don't want you to front load all the content, do they? It's another retention thing, isn't it?
Boss drop. Wouldn't it be better if that cap wasn't there? You'd be absolutely correct. All of the mentioned tactics so far aren't necessarily for monetizing you, but rather for player retention. It's vitally important for an always online...
Oh my god, he's playing Black Beacon. It's all for player retention. More player retention, more likely you am to spend in the future. You know, it's like where, you know, when you get, I don't know if you guys have ever been to IKEA. It's set out in a certain way that they make you go around you can't just like go in and get to the thing you want to do. You have to walk through so many other things, and it's because the more time you spend in the shop, the more likely you am to pass something else that catches your eye, and you're likely to spend, the more time you spend in the game, the more likely you are to spend, right?
Game to have a steady player base. Even if you're free to play, you're still a valuable asset to the company. You may contribute to the community in some way and spread the word to newcomers.
True.
Besides, as long as you remain a player, there's always the opportunity that you'll decide to spend money in the future. The reason I don't really have a problem with the tactics mentioned so far is that it's understandable some of them are in place in order to retain players.
You better use these funds for Ines skin, Mr. Streamer.
Yo, Just Casual, yo, dude, thank you very much for the super chat for the 14. Guys, can we get some love in the chat for Just Casual? I appreciate you reminding me. I was meant to buy it the day it came out, man. I just genuinely forgot. I am going to get the skin. I need to get it. Guys, pester me in Discord as well later to do that. Just Casual, thank you very much for the 14. Really appreciate the continued support. You are an absolute legend and a squire, sir. Thank you.
Here's my challenge to you. For tomorrow, just don't log in to any of the gacha games you play. That's it.
Oh, God. Hey, trying to break my habits here, bro. Come on now. I can go cold turkey. Come on now.
It's kind of like skipping class. Once you
thank
do
you very
it once,
much for the super chat.
then you realize that you can just keep doing it.
This is a fact. I said this before, right, about Wuthering Waves. You know when you soft quit a game, right? You know when you soft quit a game of like, once a game stops you coming in, so like you've got your dailies, you log in, you have your standard login, then your dailies, and then sometimes a little bit of busy work. The busy work gets boring, so you're there for the login and the dailies. Then the dailies get a little bit more too much like chores, and you stop doing the dailies, but you come back for the login, and then you stop doing the logins, and the next thing you know, you skip the day, and then you skip 2 days, and then a week goes by, and you end up, you know, that connection's lost, right? So like these are, you know, as somebody, and we've all gone through it, when you stop doing that in a game, it's easy to just start pulling away from the game, and next thing you know, 2 months has gone by and you ain't played the game and you're just playing something else now. So these are all mechanisms to keep us there, right? But Just Casual, thank you very much for the super chat, dude.
When you wake up in the morning, sit at your phone or computer and realize that you can do whatever you want without needing to bother with dailies or login bonuses, it'll feel like a weight that has been lifted from your shoulder. Power creep and feature creep. These specifically refer to newer release characters having better stats and complex kits. Balancing this factor is quite difficult. As a gacha game, it needs to release new characters.
God, FGO's menus just look like somebody threw up on the screen, don't they? They are vile. They are so vile.
To entice new and existing players to stick around. And the game must find some way to market or innovate on the game's existing mechanics. Aside from aesthetics, a game might absolutely try to sell a character by making their damage numbers bigger. That might work out in the short term, but there are long-term ramifications for this.
Beautiful
if
game.
If everyone is godlike, then no one is. A character can only...
I've been saying this. It's not like I'm saying anything that's prophetic or anything amazing, but I've been saying this. This is why 4 stars are needed in games. This is why it's a shame that Wuthering Waves doesn't get more 4 stars. People like, well, why do I need these 4 stars when I've got plenty of 5-star free-to-play options and I've got Rover and all this, that, and the other? But one, that can help for variety, so I don't have to keep using the MC to give me the options, the free-to-play option, if you will. 2, it just makes the 5 stars feel a bit more special, and it's just nice sometimes to be able to get a full max pot of a character because they're a 4-star and you can get them through the free-to-play means, right? And it's the same thing as when it comes to the sex appeal characters, right? You know, the characters that it's okay having some gooner-ishy characters in a game here and there, but the gooner value and the sex appeal's lost when everybody's got the sex appeal, right? That's why, like, in a game like Arknights or in Wuthering Waves, I think they do a good balance of it there, right? Where a lot of characters will have cool designs, and there's a character that might just be a little bit more on the sexy side. It makes them stand out that bit more for that reason, because everybody else isn't a hooah. You know what I mean? So it just... yeah, I agree with this.
be considered powerful when compared to something not so powerful. Feature creep can actually be even more insidious than power creep. As the game expands and releases more modes and content, there's going to be more menus to go through, more materials to collect, and currencies to keep track of. As a longtime player, you would have been able to adapt to the new changes bit by bit.
Coming in new.
However,
to
a newcomer
game,
is suddenly hit with all these things at once, which may cause some confusion on how to navigate the game. Just compare the complexity of character kits from the ones that were released at launch and those a few years later. Your tolerance of power creep and feature creep will differ person to person. However, I don't really have a problem with these, as these are natural consequences of the game showing its age.
I agree with that as well. I've said this before. I think power creep's inevitable. It's how fast it happens, how much it jumps, how often old characters literally become useless, and how much the game travels with the creep as well. I think it's not only inevitable, I think it's kind of necessary to have some form of power creep and feature creep just to keep new things coming to the game, right? If you're playing it every day, you want things to feel, you know, to have improvements, things to feel better. I do think it is a positive thing, but it has to be done right. It's the speed and how much it happens, right?
Unavoidable, and at times even unintentional by the developers. I'm going to throw this one in the mild category, and because I kind of want to talk about it. Paid cosmetics.
Okay.
The gaming industry has more or less accepted and normalized paid cosmetics in-game. Some of these can cost $20, and that's just kind of the reality of things now. I don't have a problem with these, regardless of how much it's priced. The thing about cosmetics is that its pricing is highly subjective.
Regardless of how much it's priced. Now, that is true, it is subjective. I definitely do have an issue with the pricing. I do. I think, now, again, it's subjective. And it's a choice. It's a cosmetic, right? At the end of the day, it's right what people say. It does not affect how the game plays to you. But I can't get behind the idea of a cosmetic in a game if it's a one-touch price. I know through a gacha system it can be even more. But of a cosmetic in a game, and this is rich coming from a gacha player, right? Being equivalent, if not more, than the price of an entire box game, right? That you can argue that this character having a slight different look to them should cost 50 quid. I remember when Jinxie's skin came out in Wuthering Waves, right? And I was like, the skin looks great. I don't think it looks good as an original skin because it's just not my style, but the effects and everything look great, right? And I think without your top-up bonuses, without all of the little extras, right? You know, if you were just straight up paying for it and you'd already bought all your currency and you got no top-up bonuses, you was looking at about 50 quid when it after the initial discount that you got with it, right? If you bought it, it was about 50 quid. And I was like, I think that's pricey, right? I'm not saying it's not worth it to people, but I think that's pricey. And I was getting called a broke bitch constantly, right? People were like, you just bro, if you're broke, say so, man. If you can't afford it, just don't buy it. You know what I mean? And I was like, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, you can't tell me objectively that £50, right, $60, $70, even more in like Canadian dollars, even more in some currencies, is a fair no, I know fair value is dependent on how much the person wants to pay. The market dictates the value. But come on now, right? That's taking the piss. So I do think, you know, that again, it's totally subjective, but I still do think some stuff for me is objectively, you can say subjectively it has value, but objectively that is expensive, right? You know, if someone turned around to you and went, oh yeah, you know, your Big Mac meal is going to cost 45 quid, you're going to be like, yeah, that's fucking objectively expensive. Somebody might go, well, it's worth it for me because I really like Big Macs, but there's no way of getting away from the fact that that is way more expensive than it should be, right?
How much do you think a skin like this is worth? Sellers want to sell it at the highest they can sell it for, and buyers want to buy it for the lowest price they can buy it for. It is
dictated by the market.
There's the age-old argument that cosmetics isn't gameplay, except what if you literally play the game in order to look the coolest? The one thing about paid cosmetics is that it has to be more desirable than the base version, meaning that there's now an incentive to purposely design the base version of something in an inferior way and sell the cosmetics as extra. It just falls on you whether...
Interesting. I think that depends on how scummy the game developers want to be, right? Do they actively want to make a character look bad to sell average-looking skins, or do they want to make a really good-looking character and sell awesome-looking skins? It showed a little bit of Girls Frontline 2 there. I think that's a game that is a bit, like, base characters look a little bit iffy. I think some games definitely do have an issue with that, with characters looking generic. Like, when I look to something like Arknights, I don't think they do. When I look to Wuthering Waves, I think Jinxie's skin looks better than the freaking skin you get in the game. I think with Zenless as well, I think some of the skins don't actually look better. I think they're just going a bit more fan service route, aren't they? Which I think it doesn't necessarily have to look better. Sometimes just having like a bikini skin, that allows people then to get fan service without the character being half naked, right? So I suppose you can look at it a different way.
You're okay with paying the money to buy the cosmetics. Now we move on to the risky tier. This tier lies in all the tactics that fit my very definition of predatory. Let me start by ripping off a band-aid. Any gacha system, regardless of how it's implemented, is predatory.
True.
There is no wiggle room for me on this subject.
No,
if you can pay real money to obtain more gacha currency, it fits here. I don't care how generous its poll income is. I don't care if it has a separate weapon banner or it has incredibly high drop rates. By nature,
this is all fair, right? It doesn't, for me, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's morally bad. People might not like this, right? Because you're actively engaging with it. It's definitely a system that's trying to trigger all of these psychological traits, right? Playing the lottery is kind of predatory, you know? Doing any sort of gambling, betting on football teams, this is all predatory, and they're all things that you could definitely argue that are negative, and some people would say they're immoral, right? And that's totally fair. But yeah, they're all optional things to opt in to do, aren't they? I do think, obviously, the more we accept them, the more pervasive they are in the gaming space. But yeah, gacha itself is just straight up predatory, isn't it?
There's no conceivable way I can agree that a gacha system is not predatory. But let's entertain some edge cases. One of my most beloved gacha games of all time is Limbus Company. I put in a lot of hours into it, and I like it a lot. This game has the dispense mechanic, where after the most recent character has been on a raid-up banner, then you can spend farmable shards to just get them from the menu, allowing you to bypass the gacha entirely. You get the shards by doing daily missions and grinding the roguelike mode.
Exactly, you could look at it with like cookies on websites, right? You go into a website, the website's free, they sell you data, and then you get pinged with a bunch of shit trying to promote you other stuff, right? You know, you could argue that there's a predatory nature to that. They're allowing you access to this thing for free, but a bunch of other companies are going to be constantly, maybe potentially emailing you, maybe using ads through Google to push other products on you and stuff like that.
You'll still need 400 of it, and buying the premium battle pass does accelerate the rate that you get it. But still, allowing players to do this is pretty insane. Does that mean that Limbus Company's gacha system is not predatory? No, I disagree. This is a very slippery slope to go down. You know the saying, you give an inch, they take a mile? Let's assume that the majority of players agree that the game is not predatory because of this feature. What if a new developer sees this and thinks, if the players don't think it's predatory, then maybe we can do something similar. However, one change they made in their game is that instead of the 400 shards to get the character, it's now 800.
This is all based on success as well. I remember saying this before when I was talking about Wuthering Waves, because there were some content creators out there that were saying that when the first Game of the Year awards came around for like all of these different mobile categories and stuff, right, that Wuthering Waves should have won. And there was people actively out there saying that if it did win, that it would help change the industry, because other games would look at it and change the way they do things because it's getting recognition. Companies don't give a shit about Game of the Year awards. They'll put it on their box and they'll put it in their titles and in their Twitters and stuff like that as a little way to say, look what we won. But what they'll look at is success, right? Success dictates what other companies do. There's a reason why the Hoyo system is incredibly popular, because it was successful. Whatever game comes out next and is ultra successful, like a Nanta. Imagine a Nanta's incredibly successful. Some games will probably try and follow suit because they're like, that works, right? We'll try and follow that. It's got fuck all to do with awards. It's about whether a game makes a shit ton of money doing certain things and other companies go, yeah, that's what we're doing.
Would you still think that's okay? Now, what if a third company takes a look, does the same in their game, but the shard requirement is now 1,200? Well, people argue that as long as you can farm it for the shards to bypass the gacha, it's not predatory. So what's the problem? As you can see, as soon as you start entertaining the idea that gacha is not predatory, it opens up a lot of room for developers to get sneaky and try skirting around the definition. And that's why I can't be budged on the subject. I will continue to enjoy Limbus Company. However, at its core, it's classified as a gacha game, and that makes it predatory. The next one is straightforward. I call it the sunk cost offer. You may have noticed that in pretty much every mobile game, there is an extremely high value pack you can buy for as little as $1 for new.
I mentioned this earlier, we don't need to go over it again, right? They give you these super cheap bundles because as soon as you spend, you're more likely to spend in the future.
Players. You might think, well, it's just a harmless offer for some ice breaking. It's a good gesture for new players to get a head start. I'd be dumb to turn it down. I mean, it looks so much better in comparison to the other purchases. Now, this may seem...
it's 2,000% off. You see that in some games, like 2,400% off. It's like, bro, that price point never existed ever before. Shut the fuck up. I'm going to buy it, though.
Harmless on the surface, but there's a very specific reason why it's there. Directly tied to the idea of sunk cost fallacy, this is meant to exploit the human cognitive bias of loss aversion. Studies have found that players who spend money, even if it's little as $1, are more likely to make another purchase in the future. If you spend any money, you're now invested. I already spent $1, why not $5 more? If I stop now, that would be a waste of the $1 I spent. I played a lot of gacha games where I did buy the $1 pack, and then after stopped playing in a week. I basically thought of the situation like this. I went into the store, browsed around, bought a pack of gum for $1, and now I'm walking back out. You can walk out at any time if you think the game is not worth playing. As long as you understand why the sunk cost offer is there, you'll be able to avoid this psychological trap. You may have also noticed that a lot
as he said there,
games have a 3 daily or weekly pack sitting in the cash shop for you to collect, luring you in with that delicious red dot. The reason why games do this is to increase your...
Slap the free stuff at the bottom of the store, boom, you got to peruse the rest of the store. It's the IKEA thing, that is. That's the IKEA thing. You need to walk through the rest of the store.
It's natural to have the mindset that since you're in an environment where you're expected to buy something, then you have a higher chance of buying something. This ties in with the mere exposure effect in psychology. By simply increasing one's exposure to something, it increases their preference for it. The free pack is meant to make you feel more familiar with the UI and layout of the cash shop. In certain games, you even have to scroll down the menu to see the free pack past all the other paid offers. And I assure you, this is also intentional. In terms of predatory practices, I think this one falls on the less egregious side. Besides, you can even make the argument that it's good that these packs are there.
I ain't got an issue with this, right? You know, again, end of the day, a free-to-play game, it's going to incentivize you to make money, right? They have to. They're a business. Otherwise, you don't get these kind of games and you don't get free barriers to entry, right? So this sort of stuff, I've got no issue with. Again, at the end of the day, I've got no issue with the gacha systems themselves. They're predatory, yeah. But, hey, it's an optional thing, right? It's an optional thing. It's a consensual choice to jump into this stuff, right?
After all, you're still getting some bonus goodies every day. I mean,
it's separating the kids out of the situation that we need to do, right?
There's no reason not to. Me, though, I just take my freebies and get out of there in 5 seconds. Another case where as long as you know why it's there, you'll be able to understand things better. This is a pretty big one. Every gacha game these days has their own premium proprietary currency that you collect in order to pull more on the gacha.
Okay.
However, there's no way to directly buy more pulls with real money. Instead, you have to buy the currency first, then convert that into pulls. Bonus points if the currency converts to the gacha tokens at an uneven ratio.
Well, I'm not defending it, but this was like when laws were brought into certain countries, kind of pushed for this. And a lot of not gacha games in general have done it for a while, but it was to obfuscate and kind of like get around the idea of that. Well, we're not allowing you to buy these things, so it technically doesn't count, because what you're doing is you're buying these pink crystals, and then these pink crystals turn into the blue crystals, and then the blue crystals buy you these cards, and then you use the cards to get the characters. So technically, you're not actually using dollars, pounds, or euros to buy these things. You're using cards, which you use blue crystals to buy, and you got them through pink crystals, so, you know.
The effects of this is quite obvious. The proprietary currency is meant to obfuscate the actual cost of in-game items. It's an extra step, more mental gymnastics to figure out if buying something is worth it. In fact, the FTC recently cracked down on Genshin's practices for this exact reason. It reveals the ugly truth that when you see the result of this practice being stripped away, how likely would you spend for a 10 pole when you can see that pressing the button costs?
I was going to say, this come into Genshin now, didn't it? Like, where you can actually see the monetary value of things, right? Because you will, if you look at a pool, it's like, damn, 250, rather than, oh, it's 150 crystals or whatever the fuck the game wants to use. You know what I mean?
It's $20. Proprietary currency serves one other purpose. In some games' cash shops, you may have seen something like this, where the game claims to be running a big sale on select items, but in reality, it is the actual price just having a fake markup. Having fake discounts with non-existent original prices like this is actually illegal in a lot of countries, in order to protect consumers from deceptive practices. However, if you switch that real dollar amount to the proprietary currency, that becomes a loophole in these regulations. The developers can simply say, look, it's priced in in-game currency, not in real-life dollars,
right?
Which is exactly something Infinity Nikki has done in a past update. This next topic has some slight ties to proprietary currency, but it puts
We don't sell pulls for dollars. We sell pink crystals, bro. Come on. And then you buy blue crystals, bro.
Own spin on it. Why is it that the amount of gacha currency needed to pull once is a weird amount that's always slightly uneven? Genshin's 160, Arknights 600, Reverse 1999 with 180.
This ain't even just a gacha thing though, man. This is just gaming stuff in general, right? When like games will sell, you know, whether it be something like COD points, and then you use those COD points to buy something. Everything's usually set to this bundle's just, you know, it's just under what you need to get the thing, and this one's a decent bit more. That so when you either get two or you get this one, and then once you've done the thing, you've got some left over, so you're like, shit, what do I do with these? Do I just waste them? And then you need to do the same thing again, or I need to get how does this work? You know what I mean?
Mekarashi with 88 or Honkai Impact with 280. I assure you, these are not selected at random. What abusive pricing does is that it's again meant to throw off your calculations and how much you need to budget in order to plan your pulls. Let's say that every gacha game came to an agreement and unanimously decided to switch the number of currency needed per poll to 100. A nice, even number.
It would be nice. It would be nice.
Now,
to be fair though, if you, I suppose this is what the whole bomb, right, is people maybe with not the best math. I don't have the best math, but making quick decisions on being like, you know, back of the hand kind of math, back of the fag packet kind of math, and then buying it and then being like, oh, fuck, you know? But again, daddy's on the player. But again, they're psychological triggers. They're doing it for a reason, right?
If I asked you, quick, how many Primogens do you need for 9 polls? Easy, 900. What about 26? 2,600.
Quick math.
60 polls? 6,000. Ah, but if we were to change it back to 160, things are suddenly not so simple. Now, you can still pull up a calculator and get the answers that way, but this pricing scheme serves as an artificial barrier to make you go through one more mental obstacle to get the results you want. Abusive pricing can also extend to the aforementioned proprietary currency. Let's travel back to 2023, back when I still played Genshin. Say that I wanted to buy the skin for Ayaka. When discounted, this went on sale for 1,350 Genesis crystals. I want to ask, how much should a player expect to pay to buy the skin in real-life dollars? Well, taking a glance at the top-up shop, you'll notice that there's no one combination of packs that...
This is what I was just on about. Just like, if something costs 15 quid, it's like, yeah, you got to spend 18 quid, bro. You know? There's no roundabout way.
Perfectly matches the amount needed. It's always a bit over or not enough. Besides, what if a player didn't have the first top-up bonus? What if a player already bought a couple rounds of the monthly pass and already has some crystals saved up? Notice just how hard it is to pinpoint how much a player is expected to pay. as their situation depends on certain other factors. Even after you bought the skin, you're gonna have some crystals left over in your inventory. While you can convert it to primos...
Question, actually. I'll just casual, you're Canadian, right? You know, in Canada, is VAT added on at the till or on the actual price? Because in America, it's I think it's different depending on states. All right, like, so you'll go buy something. I don't know, you're going to buy whatever, and it's $20, and then you get to the till, and then they add the tax onto it, don't they? Whereas, like, in the UK, and I think across Europe as well, when, like, you know, you buy some, the VAT's added on, so it's 23 quid, let's say, it's 24 quid, right? So you don't think, oh, you know what I mean? Do they do that in Canada as well? Or is that just a US thing now? What other countries do that as well? I think US will add it usually at the checkout. Canadians have money. You pay tax at the counter as well, do you? Okay, interesting. Okay, so it's a bit more of an NA thing in general then. Okay.
At a 1-to-1 ratio, you can't convert it back. So if you're someone that has some idea of long-term planning, then you likely just keep your remaining Genesis crystals there in case you need it in the future. So you just leave it there in weird...
I think most countries do. It does happen in Europe. Games currently are $80 instead of 70, like the Americans say.
Unspendable amounts. When the time comes when you do need to buy more, then that messes with the total amount needed.
Obviously, like, if you grew up like that, you'd just be used to it, right? You'd work it out. But, like, I just think it just seems such an alien concept to me. That does, of, like, I'll buy something, it's 20 quid, and I get to the till, and it's more than 20 quid. It just seems an unusual way to do things.
All over again. I want to finish off the risky tier with a short story.
UK, then, yeah.
A while back, I was looking to buy a new pair of sneakers. This led me down to a rabbit hole looking at lots of brands and reviews. And eventually, out of curiosity, I looked up the high-end sneaker lineups like the Travis Scott Air Jordans. I was shocked just how much a pair cost. I thought...
Bro, those trainers are so fucking disgusting. These ones here. I'm sorry. They're vile.
Who in their right mind would spend thousands of dollars on a pair of sneakers? What a waste of money. Turns out, if a sneaker collecting enthusiast saw it, they would go, well, yeah, you want the high-end sneakers with memorabilia sentiments or high...
I do think that's a thing that changes with age as well. Not everybody, but, like, for me, you know, when I was a teen, and, like, maybe, actually, I don't know if I grew out of it by my 20s. When I was a teen, I used to, like, I like branded clothes, right? I did used to like spending, you know, a lot of money on, like, branded stuff, but now, man, Primani, baby, take me to Primark, you know, and I'll be happy. Mate, when it comes to trainers, I do like to get, like, you know, like Air Maxes and stuff like that, and I like my trainers to be nice, but it's not even for, like, the brand, it's more just for the comfort and the look, really. But yeah, man, I couldn't spend a lot of money on clothes nowadays. I can't do it. I'd rather just have multiple items. You know, I'd rather get, like, 3 hoodies for, like, 40 quid than spend 80 quid for one hoodie. And obviously, if it's, like, a really cool-looking hoodie, then maybe I'll contemplate it. But, like, nah, man. Especially when not most of my new clothes I buy for the gym anyway. I'm like, if I can buy, like, 3 T-shirts for 12 quid, yes, please.
Performance, you gotta pay up. This is just normal for a sneaker of this caliber. When I started playing gacha games in a very similar fashion, I was shocked by how much getting a single rare character would cost if you purely spend money on the top-up packs. Turns out, years later, I became accustomed to it. It's now a normal expectation that if you buy the top-up packs in the gacha game to pull for a new character...
This is true, like, go back 10 years, yeah. Maybe even less. The idea of potentially spending, like, 250, 300 quid on Valorant for skins, or 250 quid on Wuthering Waves, to me, I'd be like, never. You know? And here I am thinking, I don't spend lots of money on clothes, and I'm buying JPEGs. You know?
You should be expected to spend upwards of $100 or $200.
True.
Someone unfamiliar with gacha games might argue the same thing I did when I looked up sneakers. Who in their right mind would spend hundreds of dollars for a virtual character in a video game? What a waste of money. In which someone like me would respond, yeah, it's been like this since the birth of gacha games all the way back in the mid-2010s. I guess it does seem kinda unreasonable, except this is just how things are. This is completely normal. It's also the result of price gouging that the lower price packs look better in comparison. I think most rational players would see buying the top-up packs as the very last resort after they've exhausted all other options. There was a $45 pack in Girls Frontline 2 that let you select from a pool of limited dolls and their signature weapon. That's an insane offer. You'd be going upwards of $200 to $300 if you whale for them instead. What about this $30 pack in Reverse 1999? Now, let me be clear about something. I don't have a problem with whaling in a video game. However, a fine line that I draw is that you must be aware of how much you're spending at all times. The moment you lose track how much you spend is when you start blurring the lines between a fair purchase and gambling. So now we end up in the deep end. There are only 2 entries in this category, but they're quite broad subjects. So we'll start with
Selector is
FOMO,
definitely the best
or
value in that
fear of
regards for
missing
me.
out. I absolutely despise FOMO elements in video games. Except FOMO can take form in so many ways that you kind of get lost. The basic concept is that the game is creating artificial scarcity by making certain items or content time-limited with no predictable period where they'll come back, if at all. Here are the sources that I consider to be the main aspects of FOMO and how they hurt my experience with a gacha game. The first is flash sales. These pop-ups will lure you with a limited time deal that usually expires really fast. You better get it now or it might disappear forever. This plays on a fake sense of urgency to nudge.
I get this, what he's saying here. I don't mind these so much. You know what I do mind though? You know when the game constantly puts them in your face? Like that does my head in. I don't like that. Like, a game that's kind of like that is solo leveling, right? Like you jump on the game, it's like it's desperately trying to get you into the store all the time.
You to make a purchase. Remember when I talked about daily logins and battle passes that by themselves?
To the point where they'll even give you like a little bit of in-game currency. Come to the store. You don't have to buy anything, just come to the store, you know?
Else I don't have a problem with. Well, if we were to include a limited time item in said login or battle passes, then that does become an issue for me. Now, limited items can come in a variety of ways, such as a player profile border, an avatar, a player skin, or a special plaque to display on your profile. The question becomes, how much do you care about this thing? If you don't care about cosmetic items and player profile add-ons, then this sort of thing won't faze you. However, if you can't get over just how these items may never be available again...
I think when it comes to cosmetic items, yeah, apart from like MMOs and RPGs, cosmetics don't bother me too much. And that extends to gacha games as well, actually. Especially because in gacha games, you tend to rotate your squads a lot. So even though there's a lot of cosmetics in Arknights that are great, and I'm going to be getting the Inez cosmetic, and I'm probably going to get some others, right? Do you know where cosmetics get me? First-person shooters. First-person shooters. Like say, like Valorant, Call of Duty. You know what I mean? Like, you give me a gun that I'm going to be using probably every day, and you give me a really cool-looking skin, probably going to buy it. And I'm probably going to be a lot more inclined to buy that cosmetic over the skin of a character that I might play 30 to 40% of the time when I'm playing the game. You know what I mean?
And in the
See
future,
it as better
that
value
might
for
just
myself.
cause you to pay extra attention to your logins or feel obligated to participate in these events. Let's talk about limited time gacha characters next. It's a natural assumption that once a limited character banner ends, then you have to wait for an indefinite amount of time before you will have the opportunity to get them again. How many limited characters and how often they release?
I think Wooer, so far, obviously it's going to extend as there's more characters, right? I think that's one thing Wuthering Waves has done a decent thing. Reruns seem to come around quite often, right? You're not waiting too long, it seems now, in Wuthering Waves for a rerun of a unit. But I think as you get more units, most games, the rerun, like, the time in between that unit getting rerun gets extended, right? In some games, it's just like, you know, it's massive anyway.
It's completely up to the discretion of the developer. I will say, there are games where limited characters become part of the standard pool after a while. So even if they won't be available, you can still possibly get them when a non-raid up spooks you. There's also the matter of limited time events, given that gacha games put a big emphasis on world building, considering that it's trying to sell its characters to you. A lot of the story content introduced in events can contribute to that.
You're not wrong, Easy.
What makes absolutely no sense to me is making said story content only viewable.
And sometimes, depending on when a rerun's dropped, it can increase FOMO, right? Because if there's a really good unit that comes in with, like, you know, a bunch of other useful units, it can be a bit of a bitch as well, especially when it's an incredibly useful support, right? You know, like maybe like a really useful across-the-board character that drops in. I'm not just talking about a specific support. It's like, you know, I don't know, maybe like a fucking shorekeeper kind of character. And it's like, oh man, that coming around is really useful for people who haven't got it. But then it comes with a bunch of other, you know, it can all be swings and roundabouts, can't
during
it?
their event period. Especially when the story can expand on the game's lore or explain an important subplot. It's like gatekeeping players from enjoying the full extent of the world building. Seems rather counterintuitive. FOMO elements greatly impact my enjoyment of a game, and I tend to rate
Rerun
highly
Phoebe
of games
Zani.
that
Yeah,
don't have
perfect
as many
example,
tactics
Kenya.
related
Yeah.
to it. For example, one of my
It's like at
favorite
that
games I'm
point,
playing
oh,
right
it's good the character's back, but it's like, fuck, bro. You know what I mean? You know exactly what you're doing there, you know?
now is Reverse 1999.
You're basically saying, yeah, I'm going to jerk you off. I'm going to stick my finger up your ass as well. Don't say it. I ain't going to tell you about that, though.
The majority of the newly released characters will become
Terrible
part of the
analogy,
standard
you
pool
know.
after 3 patches. And when older events get archived, you can just view it at any time. Of course, this is not the only gacha game that does this, and I do appreciate
might
it
like
when
that,
there's
though,
pushback
so
against
that
this
might be,
kind
you
of
know, that might be
practice.
good.
As you can see, creating artificial scarcity can be extremely beneficial to retention and monetization. FOMO is unfortunately one of the things that the developer has full control over. They get to choose what and when players get to access certain content. And
Well, you
that's
will.
why it's one of my most disliked predatory practices. Now, aside from FOMO, there's one more topic I want to talk about. Something so insidious that it overshadows every other subject on this list.
Okay.
One more trick to ensnare you into keeping you playing and spending money on the game. One tactic.
What was that there? Is that lads?
Something so insidious that it overshadows every other subject on this list. One more trick.
Is this Love and Deep's? What the fuck is this? Is this Love and Deep's race? What is this? This is Love and Deep's race. Okay.
To ensnare you into keeping you playing and spending money on the game.
How often
One
do you do
tactic
shit like
that's
that?
much more
I didn't even. No, I knew there was combat, but it's like that actually looked like gameplay. Don't you download, lads?
covert and impactful, as it permeates every aspect of your moment playing a game. Surprisingly enough, the game company is typically not the one that reinforces this. I'm talking about tribalism.
Oh, PvP. Let's go fight, 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 fight. Wait a minute. How? Okay, all right. Let's have. Okay, curious to see how this relates to everything else.
When you play a game for a very long time, you become accustomed to it. It becomes part of your personality. In a way, it becomes an integral portion to your life that you would defend at all costs. You can't imagine living your life without doing your dailies or interacting with the community. And when there's outside forces disturbing
It's at that point when you think, yeah, I think I should get laid. You know?
that piece, it makes you just want to
Also combat and
lash
got
out,
hooked.
put the opposition in their place, and go back to the safety of your sanctuary that is your game. One of the biggest challenges I face when I review gacha games is coming up with actual valid critiques. The problem with critiquing a game, especially one that's well known and has a long following behind it, is that even when you're saying things that has validity to it, there will be a vocal crowd that will deny everything negative you say. It doesn't matter.
Stop playing the game, bro. Go play something else. Stop being a fucking hater. You know what I mean? You're just a hater. You're a shill from another company. I think a perfect example of that recently, right? Which, hey, look, I've been saying it for a while, man. The Kuro community loves to, I mean, the Wuthering Waves community, should I say, loves to pretend that they're different somehow, that they're willing to accept criticism. Hey, perfect example, 2.7. A lot of people not happy that there's no combat. People fucking actively, CCs as well, telling people, just go play another game. And some of these CCs were doing the opposite when people were critiquing Honkai Star Rail and people were saying, maybe go play another game. And they were being told that that's a retarded argument to have. And then verbatim use that argument for Wuthering Waves, you know? And it says a lot when you, like, say you've got Saint Tonta saying, this fucking blows. And the community is like, nah. It's like, okay, yo, you have gone fucking far too west now.
That you're right. It's that they don't want you to be right. Let's say you've played a single gacha game for years already. When you see someone reviewing the game, a thought that might come up is, what gives you the right to critique my game? There's the age-old argument in the MMO community that you need to spend 100 hours on a game before your opinion is considered valid. And you can imagine with the sheer number of competition in the gacha market right now, all with their...
that argument is such a shit argument. Now, I think if you're going to review a game, I think if it's a game that's a box price game you complete, you should complete it. Especially if you're making if that's what you do. You review games. You're a review body. You're a journalist or you're a content creator. I think you should complete a game before you review it, right? Review is different to critique. And I think if it's a live service game, you should play at least through the main section of initial launch content, right? And then review it, at least experience everything the game has to offer through to end game. If you're going to review it. Now, if you're going to critique a game, in my opinion, you can critique a game within minutes of playing a game, right? If a game doesn't engage you within the first hour and you bounce because the gameplay is trash to you or whatever it might be, that's totally fine to do. Like, people treat critiques now like the reviews as if you didn't complete the game. How can you even critique it? It's like, bro, what are you on about? You know what I mean? It's two separate things.
Dedicated and loyal fans, we can imagine something similar taking place. This happens more often with older gachas as they have built up a more dedicated and loyal fan base that's more or less made the game part of their personality. Gacha tribalism is alive and real. This is my genuine advice to you. Your relationship with gaming companies is purely transactional. You can enjoy the game. You can spend money on it. You can buy their merch. You can go to their live events. Look,
I've got to simp for it, man. I've got to defend it. I've got to make it my personality. I've got to attack people. I have to be. Look, I'm not a fan of the game unless I'm acting like I'm on the board. If I'm not acting like I'm a shareholder, I'm not a fan. And if you don't act like that, you're not a fan either.
I got Snowbreak merch sitting on my desk right now. I don't have a problem when people enjoy a game as a hobby.
Unless you're acting like this game doing well is going to buy you a new yacht. Just saying.
The issue arises if you see the game or the company is anything more than that. Then I find that extremely
names on it,
problematic. Right? Online personalities can exacerbate this mindset even further.
Dwayne lets me use his yacht on the weekend, man. Shut the fuck up.
Further. When a game or community gets big enough, online moderators and content creators have a vested interest in keeping their status of authority. You may notice that once in a while, a post or two that criticizes the game goes missing or gets censored, or how certain content creators and influencers tend to consistently push a certain narrative really hard. Gacha X's devs really care about you, unlike the other developers. Gacha X is way better than Gacha Y. You become so sensitive to criticism that it's like if someone online made a simple comment, I think Gacha Y is really good. Your immediate reaction is,
it's the age-old, I like pancakes statement, right? So what you're saying, you hate waffles, you know? That's what people do a lot as well, don't they? They go, I really like this. Even when people are talking about it in a vacuum, and then other people act like, well, you're shitting on the other thing, right? Even if you're not. Like, a lot of the time people are, but even if you're not, that's when you've lost it.
Oh, so you hate Gacha X? Covering drama and rage bait content is extremely easy, and it often leads to a lot of views. I know this, and even this video is somewhat framed as so. However, when your exposure to the Gacha...
Don't tell that to the drama CCs, though, right? And I want to clarify this as well. Criticism and talking about things going on this space isn't necessarily drama. I think we're all smart enough to know when people, like, they live in the darkness, right? They were born in the darkness, shall we say, like Bane, right? And people who just maybe adopt it, like Batman, right? There's a difference. But people will genuinely say that it's not... Now, I think if you are a drama creator, I think you have to have a bit of mental fortitude to deal with the bullshit from all angles. It's fucking easy. You know, it is easy to start calling people out, right? It's not hard to do. Now, I'm not saying that you don't have to have the glue and the proof to back your words up. Like, there's a difference, right? Or it is easy views, man. It really is. People act like it's not easy views to shit on specific video games, specific companies, specific groups of players. And this goes multiple ways as well. But it definitely is. You know, I'll hear this all the time where people, I'm like, I'm only doing this to improve the game. I don't think you are. I don't think you are personally, right? Maybe sometimes, maybe. And you're not wrong for saying it, but let's not pretend. And I also think that, like, people are, well, I could do so much better if I sucked up to this game. And I'm like, would you really, though? I think that would take a lot more time and effort, and you'd have to be a part of the community for quite a while, and it'd take a bit of time where just coming in and shitting on it, you know, and throwing things around the room kind of gets attention. It does, you know what I mean? It does. And I'm not even saying that's a bad thing. Hey, I have no issue with drama farmers. You know, now and again, I've made videos where it could be considered drama, right? You know, I called out Kazahana. I've called out Saint in the past. You know, I do plenty of calling out companies. I've got no issue with it. I just think it's when sometimes people want to pretend what they do is something it's not. I'm like, why? It don't matter. It's just YouTube content at the end of the day. You're not drowning kittens, bro. you're just making silly videos. If people take it too serious, and that's on them.
Space is nothing but drumming up reasons to be outraged. You have to understand how it affects you psychologically. If you really look deep and boil everything down, let's see which parties inducing gacha tribalism really benefits. The development
creators,
company,
game companies,
moderators, and content creators, not the players.
Yep.
Online moderators will keep critiques of their game to a controlled amount to maintain their authoritative image. Content creators keep pushing their one-sided narrative as it drives easy views with rage bait and drama content. The company has no reason to interfere as it doesn't conflict with their interests. What better way to shield yourself from criticism than your own fans? What better way to feed into the echo chamber of toxic positivity than to keep unsuspecting fans in a constant state of hate and vitriol? To get easy views...
I do think, no, I've got to be fair to some of the companies. I do think some of the companies engage in active moderation against some of this stuff, right? It's in... And I know that it doesn't mean they're going to act on it necessarily. In a lot of user agreements, and in some content creation agreements with some companies, they will actively ask you not to disparage other games and other companies. They might ask you not to talk about them, but they'll actively ask you not to disparage them as well. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not saying they necessarily act on it as much as they should, or I don't think the companies are really the villains in this situation. And I think it can negatively affect them sometimes. Like, bad communities can make games look terrible. It can. And I don't always think that these bad communities are necessarily spending on the game because they're spending too much time shitting on other people because they've got character issues, if anything. I think the main beneficiaries from gacha tribalisms, content creators, and again, as I say, I don't take umbrage really with a content creator making a bit of cash because people want to get angry about stuff. But I think it's fair to say I think content creators are some of the biggest people who do the best out of it. You know what I mean?
And reinforce blind loyalty towards them and the game. As a player feeding into this tribalistic behavior, your emotional vulnerabilities are being exploited for their personal gain. The only losing...
I'm active in discouraged from playing where we're due to the community. Stockholm Gacha Syndrome. People keep defending predatory practice, not realizing it opens the door for gacha companies to become more and more predatory too. Yeah, people tend to forget companies often don't actually see each other as enemies and want to have decent relationships with each other for future business opportunities. Exactly. Sometimes a lot of these people as well, like before they ran these companies, work together, were friends, respect each other. It's a perfect example. Look at like the whole Ananta situation. People losing their shit, angry on behalf of Insomniac and Sony with Ananta when they're happy to allow them to do it because guess what? They're going to make money together off it, right? You know, there's even some people assuming that potentially Insomniac might have helped them with animations for specific things, right? The companies do not look at the things the way we do, right? They look at it through a lens of profitability, cash, ROI, and that's about it, right? And if keeping things friendly with other companies, but also beating them monetarily, is the way to go. They'll stick to it, won't they? As you say, like they don't see it the same way we do. It's all about shareholders. It's not necessarily about and I'm not saying there isn't some competition, but I think it's healthy competition, right? It's totally different to how the communities view things.
Side here is you. I imagine the majority of gacha players are rational and mature people, and that there are many online personalities that are more neutral and more accepting of different ideas. I don't think any game is perfect. Even the best of the best can have critiques you can point out, and even the worst can possibly have redeeming qualities. Of course, I'm fairly certain that I myself may have contributed to some tribalistic sentiments. Believe me, I know I'm...
Hey, we all have, right? I've said jokes, and even if it's just a joke, some people don't get jokes, right? You know, I've made videos comparing animations in games. I've joked about things with Hoyo. I've joked about things with Wuthering Waves. I've joked about things with a myriad of games, right? As content creators, I think pretty much most of us have to accept that we've probably contributed into some way, right?
I'm not immune to this. As a game company, goodwill is a currency. It's gained when you do good things and spent when you do bad things. You can support and spend money on the game because you like how you're being treated. However, never forget that you are the customer. The moment you start defending the game from all forms of criticism is the moment you lost. And that is why I believe tribalism is the worst product that came out of gacha gaming. and the most damaging trap you can fall into. You are quite literally stopping the developers from making changes that could improve the game and allowing to exploit you even further. When you take a step back and really examine the gacha...
This is why you don't really... Like, I'll have jokes, right? But you won't really... Because, like, I remember before when I was speaking about some stuff with Wuthering Waves, right? And I got people coming in, now do Genshin. And I'm like, well, I'll stop playing Genshin. Why am I going to critique Genshin? Genshin's a fine game. I enjoyed it when I played it. But why am I going to critique something I don't play? I critique things I like, right? Because the things I like, or the thing I'm actually engaging in at this particular moment, I want it to improve. Now, I'd love to see Genshin improving the ways that the Genshin players want it. I'm not going to stand here and say this is what Genshin needs, because that's for the Genshin players to decide, right? The same way as it is for the WoW players now, because I've kind of stopped playing WoW as well. But when I was playing Wuthering Waves, I was hypercritical because I loved it, and I think you should be critical of the things you love. It's the same way of family and friends, right? You know a friend when they'll be willing to tell you you're fucking up. That doesn't mean they're hating on you. That's a good friend. A bad friend's the one who's like, yeah, man, whatever. You've had 5 points. Yeah, drive home. I don't mind. You know what I mean? The good friend is the one who's like, bro, you ain't driving home, man. I'm going to call you a cab. Get in a taxi. You know? At that particular point, you might be like, fuck off. But if you wrap yourself around a lamppost or you end up running somebody over, I know that's an extreme version of something. You know what I mean? Critique is for the things you enjoy, in my opinion. And that's how it should be used. And if you're a fan of something, you should definitely be critiquing it. Come on, 3 points.
I think there's a reason why this genre of games will always have a degree of stigma that will never go away. A lot of the methods used to try to retain and monetize users are implicit and invisible. When you've been playing a number of gacha games, a lot of these tactics may have been normalized, seen as an everyday occurrence. It might be a weird experience when a game doesn't have a stamina system, or a gacha system. Regardless, everyone plays games to have fun. And while there's a lot of ways that developers can try and sneak predatory practices in the game, there's absolutely ways to enjoy it as well.
Bro's British but can't take 3 points, you know. Slander. Slander.
I want to believe that the practices mentioned in this video will take away from what could have been the most ideal experience. And the best gacha games by my standards are the ones that take away the least.
If you're a well-taught person, you'll probably be able to calculate the max pity total of the gacha currency as the real price tag of gacha characters. You understand that buying expensive skins doesn't affect your social standings or make you superior to other players. How the in-game characters are there as emotional objects for you to feel affectionate to. How this whole gacha tribalism argument is nothing more than a smokescreen to make you feel loyal to your own game and feel outrage towards others. What gacha games ultimately prey on are your emotional and mental needs. They create a fantasy, a world where you can fill the shoes of someone strong and powerful, and always longed for by others. There is nothing wrong with indulging in...
You deny your liver its purpose, right? That's what it's there for, right? You know what I mean? And when people say you drink, yeah, evolution gave me a liver for a reason, bro. Come on.
such fantasies. However, just understand that gaming is a hobby, nothing more.
Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this discussion video that dives into the more hidden side of gacha games. I think studying the inner working of how these games affect human psychology is so interesting. Let me know if you know of any other hidden tactics that I didn't mention, and if you want to stick around for more gacha reviews and analysis content, you know what to do. And for those that wish to go the extra mile, you can support me for as little as $2
thighs and grippers. Yeah.
A month on Patreon. Thank you for tuning in. Be sure to spend moderately, and always remember, have fun out there.
Yeah, man. Good video. Good video. Hard to disagree with anything, right? Obviously, I think the tribalism, if we're looking at gacha game monetization, you know, we're getting a little bit specific about things. It's not really anything to do with that, right? But it comes along with gacha, and I guess it could potentially enforce some of the other things, right? Yeah, man. Yeah, I agree with all of this. You know, gacha games do a lot of shitty things, but they're not. It's not exclusive to gacha games, right? Live service games do a lot of these shitty things as well, right? It's all about getting us in the hamster wheel and not wanting us to get off, right? In the hope that we'll just continue to spend more money as well. That doesn't mean you can't enjoy them, right? At the minute, it's kind of the genre I spend most of my time in because it allows for, I guess, psychological triggers, enjoyment of psychological triggers at the moment that are not necessarily negative ones, I suppose, in particular types of gameplay, you know. But again, as I say, Battlefield 6 is coming out soon. I'm going to be playing the shit out of that. And there's a few games coming that I'm going to be playing the shit out of as well, including Enfield, which, as I say, is still my most hyped game. Yeah, great video from Psyche. Is it Psyche or Psyche? Is it Psyche or Psyche, his name? Anyway, great video. Guys, show him some love. I think he makes banger videos. If I'm honest. How come Bro did not manage to show a single 6-star pull for Arknights? To be fair, Bro did try the recruitment system and kind of like, you know. We won't go into that, though. You're not allowed to play Enfield until I'm caught up. Boy. Yeah, we are going to lock in tomorrow, though. We are going to lock in tomorrow. You know what? We're not even going to get a chance to play any game today, guys, because it is 4:20 right now. But today, I did kind of want it to be a little bit more of a just a react, just chill, slop stream today. Tonight, the plan is, as long as nothing happens, yesterday the traffic was mental, so as long as I'm not back too late tonight, we're going to try Limbus Company for the first time. Again, just take that with a caveat. It is the evening stream. It doesn't, obviously, I've got a life, you know. It doesn't always, if I miss the evening streams, I do apologise, but the plan is we're playing Limbus tonight. If anything goes wrong with that, then definitely tomorrow. It's Friday. I don't have to get up Saturday. Then, yeah, but I'm adamant to get it in tonight. So, but I'm just letting you know, if it doesn't happen, I do apologise, and it will definitely happen tomorrow. So, true, Rusandru, true, facts. I didn't say I was going to play it. I said it's good, and that's true. But yeah, guys, thank you for hanging out today. I really do appreciate it. Just Casual, thank you very much for the super chat as well. The continued support is very much appreciated. It's Limbus tomorrow. To be fair, he opened the gate. Ah, true. Actually, I like this. This is what I'm talking about. I like this. This is why we can be friends, chat. Right? This is why we can be friends. Yes, nice one. Just Casual as well. I'm gonna get on and do that later. Actually, we're gonna get inner skin. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for the super chat as well. Shout out to everybody in stream today. If you haven't yet done so, guys, drop a like on the stream. Check out the video that I uploaded earlier on as well. It's very much appreciated. And I'll see you later. If I don't see you later, I'll see you tomorrow. And if whatever happens, I'm sure I'll see you in the Discord. If you haven't joined the Discord server, guys, join the Discord server. It's a chill place. We'll have a laugh. And I'll see you all later. All right. Get off.